What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone, everyone, everyone? It is another day, another time, and another week for your favorite Monday night show. And I'm not talking about Monday night football. I am talking about Real Talk Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a powerful topic for y'all tonight. We got some great guests, which y'all will get to meet very soon. I got my sister Tevis up in the building. How you doing, sis?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But y'all know how we start off Real Talk Monday. As the theme song is playing, I want you to like, share, tag, tell somebody, tell everybody that Real Talk Monday is on. Let's go. What is up? What is up? What is up? Everyone, everyone, everyone. It is another day, another time, and another week for Real Talk Monday. All right, all right, all right. At this time, before we introduce our lovely guest to y'all on the night, I'm gonna let my sister Tevis lead us in prayer.
Okay, everyone. Definitely, Father, thank you for today. Thank you for last night's lying down and this morning's very early rise. And Father God, we thank you for all things good and positive. We also thank you for our trials and tribulations, dear Lord, that we are still standing here as one, Father God. I ask that as we enter into this podcast tonight, that you will allow our voices to be voices that resonate with those who need to hear something, dear Lord. I pray that what is received on a positive note and a negative note. I pray that our hearts and minds are opened up to all things good and positive. Father God, I also ask that you will bless us, our families, our friends, and just all things around us, dear Lord. We thank you today and always for all the many blessings that you continuously bestow upon us. And in your Son, Jesus' name, we pray always and forever. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Before we introduce our guest, we are gonna play a little bit of a clip that Tevis sent me to kind of give y'all a little idea of what we're talking about on today.
You want a traditional woman, you got.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was just going to say where the thought originated from.
yeah. Where the thought originated from. Yeah.
You want a traditional woman, you got to create a traditional environment. There's so many dudes that expect a woman to go to work 40 hours a week, come home, clean up the whole house, cook a meal, take care of the kids, put the kids to bed, have porn star sex with them, and pay half of the bills. That's not realistic. Traditionally, man paid all the bills, and the woman stayed home and took care of the house. So if you don't make enough money to create that type of infrastructure, then you cannot claim to want a traditional woman because you are not a traditional man. It gotta go both ways. You can't have tradition when it's convenient for you to. Like, yeah, I want to go half on the, bills and all of that, but I still need you cooking, cleaning, and doing everything, what I'm saying, that a traditional woman is supposed to do. Meanwhile, I'm not providing like a traditional man did. That makes zero sense. But so many men in this area expect that.
All right. Okay. So, I will let we would like for each of you to introduce yourself and just a brief introductory, and then at the end we want you guys to kind of share what you do, how people can find you, if you have your own personal business or whatever. You all can do that at the end, but beginning, just kind of a brief introduction, please.
All right, so I'll start with myself. My name is Dawn, and I also have a podcast called Tweet Talks. I have a jewelry business that can be found on Facebook called Tweets Bling Boutique, if anybody's interested in that. And I am really happy to be here, y'all. Let's get it.
Hey, everybody, Andre Perry, local artist, construction worker, basic. We'll get into the details later, but glad to be here with you fine folks. Thank you.
Thank you both for being here. And as always, the little disclaimer is that we are here to share our knowledge, perspective, and views, not to push them up on anyone or to tell anybody they're wrong and or right on how they live. These are just our personal perspectives and views that we are just sharing with everyone, just out of dialogue. To get other people's perspectives and points of view. Now, if what we say or do helps you in any kind of way, please, we receive it. And if nothing, and if it doesn't, please don't take it personal. Just know it's our perspectives and our views. No wrongs or rights here.
All right.
All right. So our topic is traditional women, traditional environment. So you all heard the clip. A friend had sent that to me, and I thought, oh, this would be a pretty good topic because we've talked about submissive women and what submissiveness means. We've talked about households, but not to the core of traditional, right? And I always like to define stuff, right? I like to define things first. And then once I share with you guys what it says, a traditional woman is or expected to be, then from there we'll shoot the questions. So traditional woman, also known as a trade wife, in recent Western cultures typically denotes a woman who believes in and practices traditional sex roles and marriages. Many trade wives believe they do not sacrifice women's rights by choosing to take a homemaking role within their marriage. Some of the traditional values of a true woman were supposed to possess 4 cardinal virtues: piety, the quality of being religious or reverent; purity, freedom from adulteration and contamination; domesticity, home or family life; and submissiveness, inclined or ready to submit or yield to the authority of another, unresistingly, or humbly obedient, submissive servant. So the idea revolved around the woman being the center of the family. She was considered the light of the home. So that is what, in my research, the sum of what they were saying a traditional wife should be, right? Many of us recall those values with our great-grandparents and some of our grandparents. So I guess we can just start with the first question. I guess I'll go ahead and ask it. The first question is, what is the role of a traditional wife? So from what you guys recollect, what do you all feel like the role of a traditional wife is or should be? Not so. No, I was going to say, should I say by current standards, or so we know what it's supposed to be. So from your perspective now, like, what do you feel like a traditional wife is from your own perspective here and now?
Andre, I'm going to jump right in front of you. But I think a traditional wife is pretty much supporting her husband. I don't think that the traditional wife has any specific role nowadays. I think her and it's her choice. I think when she jumps into that marriage, she pretty much, oh gosh, she didn't put me in the center now. Pretty much when she jumps into that marriage, she decides her role to be being a traditional wife for that relationship is to be supportive of her husband and her family if they choose to have one. I don't think there's any role for her. Whatever they decide that tradition to be, I feel like that's what it is, because times have changed so much. I mean, the idea of tradition, as we know, has changed completely. So I think her role is to support her family, whatever that may be.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go old school on you. For explaining it, I don't have a problem with the traditional setup. My grandmother was a traditional woman, and she didn't have everything that she wanted, but she had everything that she needed. Grandfather went out to work. She cleaned. She did yard work. She did everything. Um, and I'm not really opposed to it. She cooked. She cleaned. He came in. He did all the hard work, made the money, took care of the kids. And I think that's, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's also sounds like a little bit of 50-50 during that time period.
Okay. Because I was getting ready to say 50-50.
It's a partnership, and that's just. I mean, if you think about it, that's a full-time job. And I'm not a father of any kids, but from what I've heard, and I was a handful. My mom had 3 kids by herself, so that's a full-time job. And then you're taking care of the house. You're making sure the kids are healthy, not hurt, and bathing them and doing all these other things while you're working long hours from 6 to 6. So if there's not a partnership that's 50-50, I don't know what is, and we all have stressors, and the kids can be stressful, the work can be stressful, and we just have to take care of ourselves in that traditional setting.
I agree with you when you say that. However, I think that back then, I agree with the traditional from how it used to be. I think back then it had to be that way because we had so much, everything was manual. We manually had to go out and get our food. Some people choose to do it now, but back then, a lot of the things that we had to do, we had to go out and do it ourselves. So I feel like the work may have been harder. I think when it comes to children and how children are raised now, and I'm not a stay-at-home mom, and I'm not against anybody that's a stay-at-home mom because I feel like it's a choice between you and your partner. But I feel like being a stay-at-home mom is very different than it was back in the days because nowadays they got after-school programs. As you know, I don't agree with it either. The teachers are pretty much doing a lot with these kids. So I don't think it's as much stay-at-home work needed as it was back in the day when our grandparents stayed home, and the husband went out and he worked in the yard or he did some type of manual labor. Things are different. Even with manual labor in today's society, if the man has a job, and just speaking in general, if the man has a job, he's working construction. Let's go as so simple as talk about working on the trash truck. I'm sure many of you have seen that they don't even get out the car no more and pick up the trash. The machine does it. So whereas back in the days when I was coming up, that man had to get out, get that trash, put it in the back of that truck. He's probably got a whole bunch of whatever was in your trash on him. Times is different. When he's going out and he's doing construction work, y'all see the machines on the road. So I don't think it's as much work. Yeah, he might be out there in the sun and she may be in the house, but I think both roles have changed. So that traditional part, you know what I mean? I see you smiling.
I'm gonna jump in, and the thing is, you kind of set it up perfectly because I am in construction. Yeah, I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I do HVAC. I'm in a lift, or I'm wearing hard clothes. I'm carrying 60 pounds to 100 pounds of tools, and getting in a lift. And, if I didn't have a traditional woman, if I had a woman in general and kids, I cook, I would expect that we take care of each other, either going out or whatever. Once again, that goes back to what I said, 50-50, because that's what partnership means. It means you do this and I do that, and we work towards a goal. And I think people never say that when they say 50-50. They just skip that and move on. So everybody's 50-50. If somebody's got too much control, then that changes another dynamic of the relationship. But I'll get into that later. But being a guy that works hard, that, I know the dynamic this is the dynamic. Women have more degrees, more rights, and you are utilizing that. But that's a whole nother topic with the government also giving these things to go against us, like food stamps. But we could do this all night. There's so many roadblocks as a black man. Unless I'm making 6 figures, I'm going to have to go 50-50. I'm going to have to either pick up the slack and save money as a construction worker. I can fix the house. I can do this. I can do that. I have untangible skills that cannot be weighed by money.
Now, you just said something that just changed the whole game. Because if you're going out, now this is where the perspective for me changes. Okay. If you are going out and you're working, you mentioned 60 pounds of tools, and you said something extremely important, coming home and fixing the house. Now that's where the game changes for me. If you at work and you're fulfilling a job where you're doing manual labor, and then you have to come home and do some type of work on the house, then yeah, I do expect that she needs to make sure that the house is clean, the food is cooked. You shouldn't have to come home and do anything after you work a job and then you're coming home. And now I feel like if you're going to work between 8 to 5 and I'm going between 8 and 5, when we come home, that's our time. She needs to make sure that if she's home, because maybe you may have a conflict in schedule where she may not be home, she may have something else to do, then y'all look out for each other. That's our time. It's our family time. But if you coming home and you fixing the sewer or the sink or the plumbing or something like that, then yeah, you need to go relax because you're doing double duty.
Okay, so James, I was gonna let you speak, but I need to go and jump in one time.
Yeah.
So Don, you just said he's doing double duty. If I'm working 8 to 5 and I'm coming home cooking and cleaning, taking care of the kids, getting lunch packs, baths, hair done, washing, that's double duty. Am I right or wrong?
It is double duty, but I think just like I said, when
because his is more physical labor makes it different.
Here we go.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw this in here.
I mean, it's okay, but I just gonna play it.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Dre already know how I roll with these conversations.
But this is why I think that's interesting, because sometimes when he said he has a manual job and he comes home and he does manual work, he's extra tired. But what about that female? Now, just like what you said, she's doing things, but what she's doing is it's not one person's job, it's two. Those are their children. So if he comes home and he knows, okay, I'm doing work today and there's some plumbing or something that needs to be done, babe, you know what? I'm not going to do that today because I'm tired. We're going to take care of these kids and we're going to put them to bed. Those children are adjointed. That, to me, that's not considered double duty. That's the double duty of both of y'all.
Yes,
so
I agree.
I didn't see that coming.
I agree you put it that way. I agree.
I didn't see that coming
that way. But so what I'm saying is, like, I am in no way
saying that, get ready.
Look, I am in no way saying that my job is physical labor, because it's not. But it is definitely mental, right? Which definitely needs to have rest as well. Okay. And it wears on your psyche. Whereas y'all's jobs may be wearing on, and not every man. We just speaking about
you. Don't even worry about it.
And the physical. So, maybe wearing on the physical. But I do feel like if my job was to stay at home and cook and clean and take care of the kids, and that's all I had to do, I ain't got no complaints in the world. I'm doing it, baby. You're going to have your meal. You're going to have your lunch pack. Kids going to be clean. House going to be clean. I'm in the community doing my community service. No complaints at all. None. None.
Okay,
I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Now, my mother used to say that, and I used to look at her side-eyed even when I was a child, like, girl, you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Like, nah, not me. I've never wanted that, right? Definitely don't knock anybody that wants to be, and has to be, right? Don't.
Definitely.
But now I can say at this point in my life, if I had a husband that was like, babe, just stop working, do you run your business, do what you got to do. At this point in my life, I probably would. Okay.
Yeah,
with no
you're not there yet. You're not there yet. So I'm gonna jump in on this one. So the thing about it is, you're telling me, as a black man in construction, what you don't know is what I deal with is that usually I'm the minority. I'm the one. Matter of fact, I am the one. So therefore, eyes are on me. That's stressors. I know what you're saying. It's all emotional. It's all mental. But I'm
saying that I've had plenty of jobs where I've been the only black woman, and sometimes fighting against my own black women.
Now, black man, I want you to realize what's going on. And we're gonna do a test. I need you to stay focused on what I'm talking about.
We did this the other day.
And I'm not done yet. So I'm dealing with the stressor. I'm dealing with the physical. All right, and then I'm also dealing with my family. Now, the thing is, we have kids, so they should be trained already. So you acting like this is a new thing. It's not. The kids are not that stressful. I mean, I'm sure they are. They're us. They're our kids, but they can't be. How old are your kids? I got younger brothers. I raised, an 8-year-old basically. So I get what you're saying, but you can't say it's all emotional or it's just mental. You're saying that whole mental, you're not getting beat up. You're getting physically beat up by the kids. Like I got to understand where this emotional strain of the everyday. If you got a man that's there also helping you. Mm-hmm. You're not doing it by yourself. And I keep hearing this.
We would hope not. We would hope we're not doing it by ourselves.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like I'm physical. Even if it was like, it'd be different if I did taxes or I was in the stock exchange. So you know what? I just made like 1 million, but we could have been $1 billion. Like I'm not on feel for those guys. I don't feel for those guys, but guys that give their time, give their heart, give their body every day, you should definitely see it different. I know you're doing the same thing, but it's definitely not the same. I could die. My job is dangerous. You're telling me you're going to get taken out by a soccer ball is the same? You know what I'm saying? Going to a principal.
I didn't think we need to talk about that now, because if people are getting killed in church, honey, people are gonna get killed anywhere these days. But go ahead. I see what you're saying.
I think another thing that you said, physical, anything can happen to you. Some people have jobs where it may not be you're not necessarily worried about physically something happens to you, but it's a mental strain. You're dealing with other people you work with, you're dealing with your actual job, you're dealing with the people that make it more difficult for you on a daily basis. That mental strain is the same. But like I said, Andrea,
it is. I mean, you got the vice president of the college at the university, the black lady that just committed suicide a couple weeks ago. Mental strain is real. Mental stress is real. Yes, everybody's mental capacity is different, right? What I could take, maybe she couldn't. What you can handle physically, maybe he can't. I get that. I'm not in no way discrediting what our black men go through. I am not. But understand that as women and as black women, we got labels and targets also. And just to speak on the fact that you're saying, women, we can get food stamps or medical care or this medical, as all that stuff, y'all can too, if y'all's pride wasn't too big to go down there and apply for it. And that's just
a lot of times we don't have no choice.
But I was also talking about a time period. That was a time period question. That was a time period question.
No, I didn't make it a time period question. I made it. Okay, you made yours a time period question. Okay. Right. So to answer the question, what is the role of a traditional wife? At this point in my life, I agree with what Dawn was saying by way as traditional being a supporter of her husband, her family, and her children, right? I do believe that women carry so much, what was the terms that they use on here? The light of the home and the center of the family. I think women will probably always have that. I think that's most women, not all women. So to me, a traditional, because I think in one of the conversations James and I had with another group of people, they were saying that traditional women, as we know it, cannot really be in this day and time. And I don't disagree. I disagree with that, because I think it just looks a little different, right? I think that, like you guys said, back in the day, it was different. The labor was different, right? The education was different. The experience was different. Life was different. I think as a woman now in the world, we still wear our own hats as far as women cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children. I seen my granny do that. She worked in a factory. My grandfather was a barber and a bus driver, right? And she helped clean houses that I helped her with at times. So, but she still came home and took care of her children, and she had my grandfather's meal cooked for him every day, and the house was never dirty. You see what I'm saying? So I think that traditional women is still a thing. I just think that it may look different. This is my perspective, but I think that it looks different, a little bit different now, because yes, we are working. Yes, we are educated. Black women are the highest educated in the country out of all, right? Black women. So, I mean, I get all that, but I do think that traditional women can still be a thing. It just looks different. I'm sorry.
James, I think I'm going to add something real quick. I'm getting ready to jump in, James, because I see you getting ready to say something. He's like, give me a minute. I think this is important also. And I know y'all might not agree with this, but when we think about a traditional household, everything, you have to take everything, including environment, times, work, everything from traditional and put it in that same environment for it to be the same. But now when we think about today, that relationship that man or that woman has to come home to, okay? Let's think about it. Now, that man may come home from a stressful day. If he's not doing everything he needs to, us women, we have been trained to be nature. What's that word, child? Nurturers. Mm-hmm. Okay? So when he comes home, our job is to be nurture him. Because if we don't, what's going to happen?
Someone else is going to
Somebody else will. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And for us women, we have to keep ourselves together. We have to make sure that we do so many things to keep this man in our life, because the reality of it is we already know there's probably 10 women to one man. So she has to do so much extra. This is what sometimes I don't think men really understand, and they keep in mind that for a woman, they think that it's a lot easier, and it may be physically wise. But there's so many things that we have to do as far as being nurturers to that man, even if we may not like that little text message that came through to his phone. We don't like that secretary that's constantly calling him after hours. We don't like the fact that he's going in on the weekend saying that he has to go to work. And we know that he don't work weekends. We have to be nurturers. We have to be understanding. And it comes from our children, because that's what when having a child, that's what it does to you. It gives you that maternal instinct, that caring, that you know how your children's act. What's that word? When the children's acting up, you still gotta love them. You still gotta. We have that connection that we have to have, and we have that. It moves from our children to our man. And so a lot of times we don't realize that. You know how men are. If you ain't looking right, if you ain't smelling right, if you ain't standing tall, wearing the nicest dress, they turning their head looking the other way. And as women, we got to keep that. It's a little bit.
It's hard. That's hard.
It's a little bit different for a man though, because a man can gain his extra pounds. He can decide that he's going to rough it when he comes home from work and put his stick.
Who are y'all dealing with?
Right.
It's
that ain't no man. That's a little boy.
Don,
that's not a man. That's a little boy.
Don, when you said that, how we have to keep ourselves looking good and upkeep and all that, that immediately gave me anxiety, because I am honestly, I'm about 40 pounds bigger than I was 16 years ago when I had my daughter, right? And the weight just came on the last 2 years, okay? So it ain't like I just kept it on. I'm new to it, okay? I don't like it, but I hate to feel like, you know, especially if I had the same partner all these years and he's noticed I pick up this weight, that he may be looking at somebody else. Like I know that is a thing, not with most men, but with some men. You know what I'm saying? I know every man is not like that. But that's overwhelming. James, we need you to answer. You answer the question.
Right.
You answer the question. What is the role of a traditional wife to you?
Before I answer that, let me clear something up. That ain't no man that y'all been dealing with. That's a little boy. A little boy is going to sit there and look the other way at another woman at that point. A grown man is going to sit there and remember the things that made him fall in love with you in the beginning. If a grown man is still interested in you, he's going to help you get off those extra pounds.
Last week,
he's going to encourage you. He's going to push you. He's going to be a motivator for you. That is what a grown man is going to do. Now, to answer the question on traditional women, what is a traditional woman? It really depends on that couple. Because in all honesty, what we say traditional is, another couple can say, you know what, that ain't traditional for us. Because let's say, given an instance, let's say the man is making $5,000 or $6,000 every time he turns around. And he's telling his wife, you know what, I don't want you working. I want you staying at home, being here, taking care of the house, doing all of this. That's traditional for them. Or let's say the man is sitting there and he's telling his wife, you know what, I need you to help me out in paying these bills. I need you to help me out doing this. I need you to help me out doing that. That's traditional for them. So everybody's view on what a traditional relationship or a traditional woman is varies. It just whatever works for you.
For those two people. And I definitely agree with that. When people ask me, well, we'll get to that question, but yes, I definitely agree with that. James, before we go to the next question, can you go in the chat, start from the top, and let's see if we got any questions.
Oh, they was going in these comments.
I think the first one is at 720, Jethro Anderson.
Yep, I think so. Let me go up here.
Oh, he was talking about, when Andre said something about kids. He obviously hadn't dealt with a teenager, and then somebody said raising children is not easy, and then someone said teenagers will stress you the hell out, bro. I'm sorry. And then Bianca, I hope I'm saying that right. Sharp, she said, good evening. This is a great question. Times have changed, and it is a conversation piece of each other's roles in your household. As for me, no, because I can help him because the man he wants to be, because I am considered his helpmate. I will support him in whatever areas he needs me, and the same for me. And I agree with that. We are in this relationship together. Nice. In a few more years, I will be retired so I can be a stay-at-home mom, and I will love it because that is an important role. God gets the glory in our relationship. So I agree with that. In no way, shape, form, or fashion am I saying. So what makes me cringe is when people try to put value and importance on people's role. I feel like all of our roles are important, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. If you're helping here, if you're helping there, I feel like all of our roles are important. Will some of them take a little bit more strain on a different area of your life than the other? Absolutely. Am I going to always ride for my husband? Absolutely, as long as you're doing right. Absolutely. I can't say I'm getting ready to go rob a bank with your bud or any crazy thing like that. But yeah, as long as you lead our family the right way, I got you, right? I don't want my person to be stressed. Any way that I can help, I'm gonna help. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta cook dinner every day, which I don't know, if I gotta cook dinner every day, then so be it. I'll cook dinner every day, right? So I definitely agree. I agree with that for sure. For sure.
Kevin, you said something that was so important. What you just said, oh Lord, did I just forget it? You said you're gonna ride for that person, and as long as they are leading correctly. A lot of times I feel like I think one of Bianca, I think it was, she said in one of the comments, she said, I will support him in whatever areas he needs me to, and the same for him. Okay. Now when you say that I thing, that's where I cringe. Because
when I say if he's leading correctly,
no, you said if he's leading correctly, that I agree with that. What Bianca said in the comments, I think a lot of times us women, some of us are so wanting to be in a relationship till we say, I will do what he needs. It's not whether you're doing what he needs. We have to do what we need to do to make this work. Both people need to be happy. And I think sometimes, especially with the world being the way it is now, so many single women, it's like so many of us feel like I have to be whatever he needs me to be. I need to be accommodating to him. It's not about he, or she. It's let's do what works for us. Because that to me sometimes is what happens. It starts such an unbalance in a relationship. And you know how you started off is how it's gonna be. So a lot of times I think it's so pivotal, especially if you've been like myself, you've been single for a long period of time. So many women get to the point where they're like, you know what? I'm gonna just be and see what you just said. You said, oh, well, if he's gonna rob a bank, you know what? There's some of us sisters out here don't feel like that. Whatever my man is going through, I'm gonna stick by him. And you know what? Boundaries. You gotta be okay with boundaries. And you know what? You can love somebody and they love you and still have your boundaries. You know what? I don't like this. I'm not willing to be this to you or be there for this situation. I think it's important for us to stay true to ourselves.
Yeah, we have to, because if not, we're gonna look and say, "Well, what about me?" Or what about me? And you don't want to keep what one of the scriptures in the Bible. You know, love is not this, and this. Love does not keep check of, right. But after a while, if you're not pouring into your person, if you're not pouring into your, whether it's he or her, whichever way, if you're not pouring into your person, after a while, they're going to start looking side-eyed. And like Andrea said, we put ourselves last. And I was listening to a podcast earlier, Brown Mama Bear podcast, and there was a Black lady on there who's a radiologist, but she does healthy living for women. And she was talking about how so many times we are making sure that we are taking care of everybody else, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But we forget about ourselves. And then by the time we go to the doctor, we got ovarian cancer, stage 3. Her friend just died of heart disease, never knew she had a heart disease problem. Like so often we do forget about us because we are pouring into and taking care of other people. So
that sounds like the old traditional man.
Well, let's talk about the mental health that comes behind it.
You know,
right? What did you say, Andre?
I said that sounds like the old traditional mental man. That's what it sounds like. You know, just you're so busy that you forget to take care of yourself. The other thing that you guys were really talking about earlier was it just sounds like communication. It needs more communication and more vetting the dating process. Because if the thing is, like myself, if I'm coming into a relationship, my questions are like, how do you live? You know, are you good with your family? Do you have good morals? Are you entrepreneurial? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we have the same goals? Are we interested in the same things? And I want to come in so I can support those goals. I want to come in so I can support her. Like, once again, that goes back to what I said, the 50-50. Like, I want to be your partner. I want to be your ride or die. I want to be the guy that, you know what, babe, you can do that. You can do this, you know, but speaking negatively and all that, that's not what I'm here for. I want to be real, but I want to be your support system. I want to be your foundation. And that goes back to finding the right type of man, a grown man, instead of dating these little boys or gaslighting or whatever we're doing these days. You really need to talk to them, because men are not great actors. We do not act very well, and we can't act that long unless we got things to mask that.
I think that's the key. You can't act that long. Y'all do try to act, but you can't act that long. I think that's the key.
Right.
That long. That's the key.
We can't act that long. So that's what I'm saying. So you have to take, you have to be vigilant. You have to wait. You have to see. Because we will tell you who we are if you really look at us, if you pay attention to us and not what we're doing.
Yeah.
So.
So right above that one, James, it was a comment, I think, agreeing with you, Andre, when you said that does sound like the traditional man. Maybe so. And as a single mom, that's the position that I've been put in, right? Or the position that I'm in. I ain't going to say put in, because I laid down with that person. Okay. I knew what I was doing, but that's the situation that I'm in, right? So I am all of those things for my household. And unfortunately, that's the traditional man for me and my child. That's what I have to do, right? But also when I'm dating, I want my person to consider me too. I want them to think of me also. I want them to understand or be aware of my health and my well-being, right? And also men nurture and take care of differently sometimes than women. And we have to be in tune with our partner when it comes to that. Okay, he may not physically be here, but he is doing A, B, C, and D, because these are the things that he can give me in this relationship, right? Or if he is here with me, I appreciate him checking on me, making sure I ate today, babe. Did you get your exercise done today? Stuff just simple, right? Simple. And his argument will probably be, oh, most women aren't that simple. Well, I can't speak on other women. I can speak on me, what I want, what I need, what I desire. And I want that to be heard, and I want it to be received, right? So I think that that mental health piece, as Don was mentioning, comes into play so much more now in this decade, in this century, because it's discussed more. Whereas before, I remember my grandmother telling me that she would get off the bus and go walk up to the house, and if the drawn, these are her country words, God love my granny, if the blinds were drawn, she knew that her mom was in a mental health crisis, and she knew the ambulance was going to be coming to get her mom soon. So they would just ship them to 6th floor, the mental health institute. They stay, they get better. Whereas now we have all the different tools to utilize, and we are trying to dismantle the stigma of mental health in the Black community. It's okay to have a coach. It's okay to have a therapist. It's okay to go to counseling. It's okay if you have autism or bipolar, or I said autism, but not autism, bipolar or schizophrenia or something. There's treatment, there's help. Let's talk about it. Let's get these services together, right? So
but you gotta want to get the help.
You have to want it, right?
And there is an issue. I think that's the worst part of when you're dealing with different things going on in your life, whether it be the workplace, the family. A lot of people that have these mental, and that's why I brought it up, these things contribute to your mental health, but a lot of people don't really want to admit there's a problem. Instead of admitting it, there's always turmoil in the household. They want to argue every day. They're mad all the time. They don't want to address the fact that, okay, there's a problem here and I need to get help, because of course the Black community looks at it, okay, you have a mental illness problem, you're going to be shunned. There's help for a lot of this stuff.
Right. Mr. Anderson just said, let's be honest, who is the one that is really stressed the most? Men usually die before women. And you know what? Because most of you all choose to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders instead of talking about it. My person oftentimes says, why would I bring that stress onto you? I don't want you to have to worry about that. Baby, that's why I'm here. It's not about me wearing the stress, but let's talk through it. Let's sort through your day. If somebody rubs you the wrong way or there's an obstacle, right? So let's sort through that. Let's talk about it so you don't it don't need, and I teach my daughter this, let it out. I don't care if you got to scream, cry, cuss, fuss, let it out. Talk about it.
How old is that man? How old is that man?
52.
He's not. How old is your daughter?
16.
He's not going to be that. And
He's not going to be what?
He's not going to be the let it out type. We have to work.
Oh yeah,
on
we know that there's a generation thing there. There's a generation
I got
thing
you, but the next question is how do you create a safe space? Now, you saying that's fine, but it's not about your words. It's about how he feels.
Your actions, being present, checking in, saying I love you, in a long distance relationship, there's only so much you can do, right? And me checking in, making sure you're resting, making sure you're going to the doctor, making sure you're eating, like me being a nurturer, which is something that he says that he loves about me, that I am such a nurturer, right? But again, too, it's almost uncomfortable thing, I think, sometimes, because he's not used to having that. He didn't have that in his past relationship. So it's new. It's a new thing. So I think, just to say the least, without saying too much, making, like you were starting to say, Andre, is making, how are you, what'd you say? What's the safe space? How are you creating a safe space, right? Yeah. And it definitely takes more than words. I do think it takes action, but again, depending on the dynamics of the situation, close to, long distance, it's going to look different, and all you can do is what you can do. I mean,
no, absolutely. I definitely agree. I just wanted to ask those questions because as men, and I've had these talks with my friends and close, relatives and things like that, the sound of your voice can make, break, or build a man. And I don't think,
I agree.
I will say this before I say that. Sometimes I give women no slack. And the reason why I give you no slack is because I personally understand and believe that you are way more powerful than some believe, your man believes, or you believe. You control a lot of things. Women have tumbled nations, have changed policies.
Yeah, my dad told me that early on.
But you can't even change a man's mind from chicken, from going to Kentucky Fried Chicken to Burger King now. And why is that? What is the disconnect?
Dre, you said something that was so real. You said, "Oh, y'all got so much going on." I'm like, in my mind, a lot's being said. You said basically that men have the ability. Basically, what it goes back to is a man being able to communicate. And you said you don't hold any slack on women. That's a different kind of man. See, a man nowadays, when they have so much stress and stuff built up, is because they lack communication, and they think that nurturing woman is going to come in their life and know what they need and know how to fix them, want to work at them. But if you don't have any communication issues to be able to verbally tell her, you're a different kind of breed. Some men don't have that ability to communicate, and they want this woman to
figure it all out,
and we can't. So if
we can't do that.
So it's cool if you're saying you don't give them no slack. You give them the good slack. Because you telling it. If somebody's telling you the issue is
right. So yeah, if you aren't communicating your needs, because I do. If I need him to be more present, if I need him to be if I need more attention, if I need more whatever, I say that, right? So I desire for him to do the same. If he don't, all I can do is ask questions and hope he answers. I know certain times he'll talk and a river will flow, right? And I receive those moments. I try to be a great listener, talk through it, whatever the case may be. But again, and somebody said this, it's all about communication. My deal breaker is the lack thereof, right? Communication is so important. And I ain't saying people gonna come in the door knowing how to do it, but if you're open and you're willing to grow in that space, that's one thing. But if you are so shut off that you're not willing to grow, willing to communicate, willing in a relationship, then you need to rethink where you at. You have to rethink that. That goes back to
the vetting process, though. The vetting process.
I don't care nothing about no vetting process. That sounds so mean.
But when we get it,
but let me tell you why.
Here we go. They don't want to hear you now. They don't want to hear you now.
You can vet
All you
Okay,
want
for
is
6 to 9 months, 2 years, you
Come on,
can
you
vet.
knew his, you knew his
Jay,
conversation was trash
this vetting,
3
nope,
months ago.
in this vetting, again, men can act for
Woo,
so long,
listen,
right?
But
I
if you
may
had
already love your behind,
In
already
2 months.
vested
That's not
in
his
you.
Thank
fault.
you.
Let me
Come on.
finish. I'm already vested, and then I'm seeing these truths come out. At that point, the woman has to choose: is this worth me still
Absolutely.
dealing with and filtering through this water or
Yep.
not? So vet. We can vet. Let me tell you something. My parents been married for 47 years. Them jokers are still vetting, okay? Because they done been through some trials and tribulations in every
Listen.
season of life: a death of a person, a parent, a child, family, beliefs, jobs, money. We vetting
Watch this.
forever.
That's
Watch
Some
this,
vetting
bro.
that's
depends
more
on
than
if you're
vetting.
gonna be worth it or not.
That's
Watch this, bro.
different.
James
But
and
here's the thing. Here's the thing, go. If you open up that line of communication from jump, and we let us like have those communication, have those talks, find out our likes and our dislikes from the beginning, then you not sitting here 2 or 3 months later trying
Yes,
to
you are,
figure out
James. I have to
why.
disagree. I'm a
let me
hard
tell you
disagree
something,
on
James. You and I know
On
we had
all
this
that.
conversation the other day. When
Yeah,
you meet somebody, you're meeting a representative.
I
That's
agree with
right.
that.
You're not
But
meeting who they
but
are.
after 4 months, you are not still meeting that
Yes,
representative
you
after
are,
4
James.
months.
Yes, you
Yes.
are. Yes, you
I
are.
don't believe
Guess
that.
what?
Yes, you
Okay,
are.
Some of
so
them,
as a
Tevin,
guy
I
that's gonna
got you.
disagree,
Some of
I
them will go
disagree.
far and beyond to make you believe that they are this representative.
And I've had a person
And you-
tell me that.
They will go far and beyond. Now, women do it too, but
Yeah,
a man,
Thank you.
for sure.
but a man, number one, he's goal oriented. Okay, so if whatever his goal is in mind and whatever he wants you to believe is what his job is to be that representative of. Okay, now mind you, the female, she can fall for him, fall in love with him until one of them days he's gonna slip up. And guess what? Because we are nurturers, and some of us have been raised where we've seen our moms and dads be together for years, like myself. My parents have been married for 50 years now. They've been married for a very long time. And so we look at those relationships and we say, we're supposed to stay. We're supposed to be nurture him and care for him. And just he's going through some things. He's went through some things. And meanwhile, the person, what it really is he's transforming into who he really is. There's nothing that you can do to change that.
Or is that
No,
creating
but
an expectation and then he finally shows his face and then he
This
doesn't meet
reminds
that
me-
expectation?
That's
but you
what
fell
it
in love
is.
too much.
Well,
yeah,
this reminds me of a show. I'm a Netflix fan. There's a show that's out called Love on the Spectrum, and it actually talks about and it shows autistic adults dating because they want love. And the most interesting thing that I thought was when they go into these dates, they ask questions. The first time they sit down with these people, we don't do that no more.
mm-mm.
We look at this person and say they're attractive. If they're not attractive, we like their
I would
personality,
agree with that.
like something about them.
don't.
Meanwhile, we really don't know who this person is. And then when you think about it, you can ask a person 1,000. You can ask me right now. If you ask me what's my favorite color, pink. I'm always going to tell you that. Let me see somebody with a purple dress on that I like. Oh, I love that dress. That purple looks good. Oh, I love that purple. But I just told you my favorite color is pink. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what they tell you. It's about who this person really is, and they will
Yeah.
put you in, girl. They will put you in.
I think
I've
what it is
had a
you have to
person-
learn to grow with somebody. You have to learn
You
to grow with
do.
them.
And you choose that. So
Yeah,
you
right.
can vet all you want, right?
But
But
you
when
have to
them
learn to
truths,
grow.
Say it with
when
your
them
chest,
truths,
Evan.
when
Say-
them
say it
truths,
with your chest. You can vet if you want.
you can vet all you want. I agree with the vetting. Trust me, I'm asking questions all day, every day. So you can vet as long as you want. But the point is, when those truths come out, when you start really seeing the person, that's when you're gonna have to determine, is this something I can roll with or not? Whether you love them, whether you a year in, 2 years in, 6 months, it just depends, right? I mean, I had a person say to me, I didn't want you to I wanted to look good to you. I didn't want to scare you off too fast. I didn't want to Negro. I need the real. Give it to me
Right.
raw.
I like
Okay?
this comment
You
right
seeing
here.
somebody on the side, let me know. If it's somebody, if you don't like, let me know. Let me know. Let me choose. Don't choose for me if I want to be with you. Let me choose that.
That goes back to gathering. It's kind of like back when we talked back in the day when hunters have to gather. They gather everything. They're hunting. Men are natural hunters. So what they're doing is they're gathering all the choices together so that they can choose. Never mind how we feel. Never mind what we want. Their job is to bring them all together, and then they ultimately make the choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been there. I lived that life.
Mhm.
I have lived that life, and I am not gonna lie and say that that life was not entertaining. I'm not gonna say that life was not fun. Had tons of fun with that life as a
Right.
what I would call carnivore savage. All right, and you are reckless. You are like a panther. That's what I because I like panthers. So you're sitting there, watching your prey. But the thing about it is, then you grow up.
Mm.
Then you look
At
at
what
your
point
bed.
does this happen? When does the grow up part happen?
That was around 37, 36, because I actually moved to another city for a woman. I didn't have to do that. I had plenty in Kentucky, but I've stayed in 36, 37 years being in Kentucky, and I decided to move away to a whole nother state with no friends, no family for this
So you
woman.
were forced to grow up.
I'm sorry? You say
So you were
forced?
forced to grow up.
No, that's incorrect.
you
I was
said? Because
forced
you-
I love someone enough to
Oh.
move. That's
Yeah,
perspective.
that's it.
Because I didn't
Okay.
have to. I didn't have to. And obviously it didn't work out, but I learned a lesson from it. But the thing about what I was saying was, like, I guess, what was he? Women lie about, but anyway, people have different faces and you have to be attentive. You just can't talk. You have to be attentive. You have to ask questions, like you said. And we are not doing that. We're not paying attention to the details. And then, because people don't, like I said, we don't act very well. But how,
Mm.
and this is what we talked about on the other show was accountability of wearing blinders on certain things. I'm not giving you any slack. If you are rude to me and I'm on a date and you are on your phone, you are cut. All right. Because what you want is you want me to pay attention to you and give you 100%. And then you're doing something totally opposite of what you're asking me. All right. I'm not going to scold you. You're a grown woman and you should know how to
Conduct yourself as
carry
one.
yourself. So I'm not
Yeah.
going to sit here and, like you said, women are not going to sit here and try to baby and help grown men grow
I
up.
don't
I'm
want to
not going to
raise
do
a
the same
man.
thing
I
for a
don't want to
woman.
raise a
I'm not.
man. Right. Right.
And you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to, at the age that all of us are at now, we should not have to go back and try to raise somebody else and do the job that their parents did not do. At this moment in our lives, what we ought to be able to do at this moment in our lives is be able to truly and totally commit ourselves to another person, flaws and all. Because let's keep it real, every last one of us got some flaws that we're coming into that relationship with. However, what you have to decide on is there ain't gonna be no perfect relationship. What you have to deal with is find that imperfect person that you can deal with all of their imperfections.
I
Mm.
agree.
And that's what you have
That's
to
why,
deal with.
and that's what I was saying. Pretty much, after that vetting stage and those truths come out, or the reality of that person, right? You choose if these are things that you can handle or not. That's a choice that you can make. Some people's cutoff game is much quicker than others. I've decided to stop doing that because sometimes you do lose
You
out
cut
and
off
miss
your
out on
blessing.
certain things.
Oh.
But
Be
needless
strategic.
to say, let's go to the chat. Bianca at 736 said, "Don't get me wrong, I will not do anything crazy, but I will support him. I hope he wants to help me in areas of my life too. We are trying to help each other become better in our walk with God as well as each other." Andrea said, "In my opinion, most women are going to go hard taking care of their family and husband. In most cases, it is not reciprocated." Jethro said, "Let's be honest, who is the one that is really stressed the most? Men usually die before women. This is true. And as we said before, it's all about that communication and how we decide to release and get help and support and have conversation." Andrew said, "Yes, talk it out." Jethro, 100% bro, preach bro. "I love a man that is going to communicate with me." Preach Tevis. "I disagree, Rev." Bianca said, "That is why we have to ask God to guard our hearts as we enter into relationships. Watch for the signs. There is a warning before destruction. That discernment is real. Discernment is real. Yes. Women lie about who they are as well. Let me see you without that wig. So he's just saying because of all the fakeness that some people, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. He said that last comment wasn't directed towards anyone in particular. So I'm assuming that what he's meaning by that is maybe, and he can clarify that, we have these things, all the makeup or the wig or the nails or the surgeries or the clothes that hide our thickness and, all these things. Well,
fupa is I think the correct term.
What'd you say, Andre?
Is it fupa? Is that the correct term?
It's the fupa, yeah. The lower half of the stomach.
Yeah. And
this is the thing. Men oftentimes like to say that, but then we have to look at like, okay, well, a female, they may say, well, the female looks fake, this makes that. What they have to realize, some people like variety, and every woman is not going to look for every man for variety. And maybe a man can look at different women for variety.
Yeah, so I need a different wig for every day of the week. My man may like that.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I can put on a wig today. I can have blonde hair tomorrow. I can wear my natural hair that's curly. I can do it all types of ways. But it's because I like variety. Right. And it's different when a woman likes variety and she decides she wants to look different ways to please herself. But a man may say, I don't like this woman because she doesn't have a small frame. I'm going to go with this woman. I don't like this black woman, so I'm going to go get me a white woman. Which one is healthier?
It just got deep.
Which one is healthier? Her deciding to have a variety and looks for herself to make herself happy, or a man that's deciding that he wants to be with several different women because he's looking for variety.
Right.
So the brother that said something about women switching up wigs, it's about liking variety and doing it the safe way.
Yeah,
that's an interesting
and doing it for yourself, right?
Do it for yourself.
Because it ain't like you ain't gonna. It ain't like you ain't gonna see me without the makeup or see me without the wig or
And guess what? Every woman likes things a different way, and sometimes the man does too. Some men like it like that too. They say, okay, well, you know what? You wearing a red wig today? Put you a red wig on. Put you this on. Put you that on. So you can't.
What, Andre?
I enjoy it. It's just variety. You know what I'm saying?
But variety, it is. I'm speaking for myself too.
I don't disagree with variety.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying. What are traditional women? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to
we
done went all over.
Good question. Let's get to question number 2. Although we're gonna run out of time, we just gonna
we done went all over.
And if y'all got to jump off, let us know that. But we're gonna go to this question number 2. Do you feel like a woman who wants to be a traditional wife by these standards, the traditional way, is sacrificing women's rights? So if they was a traditional wife by the old school standards, do you feel like they're sacrificing women's rights?
No, it goes back to what I said originally. It goes back to what is working for that couple. If this works for them, it works for them.
Right.
The only thing that I'm going to say is if this woman is deciding that she wants to conform to these ways and say, you know what, my husband says that I shouldn't vote, so I'm not going to vote. That is where there's a damage being caused to women's rights.
I agree.
Because many women have died for that right. As far as her deciding that she doesn't want to work, I think that her form of work is what we discussed. It could be working in the house. Mm-hmm. It could be working on her business. It could be doing those type of things. But when you decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to go vote, because my husband told me to, knowing that many women have died for that right, I think that is damage to the rights of women.
Right.
I would agree with that.
Right. Do you all think a husband should force a woman to stay at home?
No.
He should offer.
Yeah.
If he can, if it's in his financial will, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Me personally, the whole stay-at-home mom thing, I'm against it. I am. And not I'm not saying anything negative about anybody that chooses to do that, but I think we now in 2024. I think maybe in the last 10 years, it takes 2 people, and any woman that finds it easy to sit and watch a man come home from work and she provide food and take care of the kids. I just see where that's a little bit of an unbalance, because the working world, you're dealing with so much. You're dealing with your work. You're dealing with the people that you work with. You're dealing with maybe the difference in trying to level up. Deciding to stay at home. I think it takes two people. I don't care how much money you're making. I'm not sitting home.
Right.
You tell that to the people on the other line, those 1%ers. I bet you they'll take that stay at home every time. All right, every time. I'm gonna go to brunch. I'm gonna play golf. I'm going to go.
Because
I'm
in my
gonna make
mind,
paper airplanes. They're gonna say yes to that every time.
in my mind, when I think of a stay-at-home woman, I'm thinking that what does she get? Allowance? If she wants to.
That's bull doo doo to me. That's bull doo doo, right? Right.
She might want to go get her a new wig. What's she gonna do? She's waiting for allowance to do it.
Right.
Usually those women have the finances to do that, so they don't have to worry about that.
Well, I mean, I think about
we're talking about broke women that stay home with the guy that's struggling. That's
you didn't have that
really
equation. Now, if you're talking about they're both financially stable, why does there have to be a limit? Even if we are both financially stable, why do we have to stop there? I could be working and she don't have to be working a full-time job. She could be working maybe part-time, maybe a less stressful job, but it takes two, because how do you support that man? If there's two people working in the household, what happens one day if he loses his job? Right. There is turmoil in that household because we have gone from here to here. Whereas if both people are up here and he loses his income, somebody's still keeping us afloat. So I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in on this one, Rev, and I don't know if you picked up on it, Rev, and I do this, and I hate to do it, but I got to do it.
Come on, man.
This is what we call in my field of expertise is going down the rabbit hole. All right, we create all these, that's why men, are built differently. All right, we can't say too much, we can't do too much. We keep that to ourselves, because if we say something, the who, the what, the when, the where, the possibilities that it never existed, we will go down that hole, and we are definitely doing that right now. So I need you to stay focused on what we can do in that time and place. And that's why men don't say a lot, because when we do this, we get this. All right, we really do. So I try to make sure that I keep your mind and your heart at ease. All right. And once again, I don't know what kind of men people are coming across in this new traditional way, but like I explained to somebody else, we had this conversation. Tevis, I said, my rent is too much. It's definitely a mortgage. And if a woman asks me if I can take care of her, I'm going to say yes, because I'm taking care of myself. And the only thing that you are adding is your body. And you're just eating probably an extra $50 worth of food unless I'm taking you out. But as far as the household, nothing changes except 30 extra bills. We got Netflix because we're sharing now. Things can happen. All your money is going to go to the vacations. So if you are not, yes, I don't understand what's going on. Y'all need to just vet. You need to vet them. All right, Tevis. All right.
For the next 20 years of your life, okay?
That's a personal problem. That's a personal problem. It doesn't take that long.
Period may change.
But I just, we got to do better. I don't understand how. And like I said, there's 50-50. There's a lot of terrible people out there. And there's a lot of good people. Wear a emotional bulletproof vest and stay healthy.
Stay healthy, yeah.
I think that the reality of it is, when it comes to the man being the breadwinner and the female not, it's all about the ego. Yes, I said it. It is all about the ego. And if he don't feel like he has that ability to have some control, it will never be peace. That man needs to, this is my viewpoint now. That man needs to have that sense of control. And guess what? You know how that money is what keeps the lights on, keeps the water running, and it keeps the wheels rolling on the car. And he has to feel that. So if he knows that this woman has the ability to have any amount of control of anything that could cause him to not have that strong ego, masculine ego, it's a problem. It's a problem.
So let me share, because let me share a real life example. So I was dating a guy that probably maybe he was 5 years older than me at the time. Well, of course, still is, but at the time, and I think he was like 49. And so he well off man, educationally, career wise, has chain of charter schools that he started. I mean, that's wonderful. That's great. So soon in, this man was buying me name brand purses, which every name brand purse I have, someone has bought it for me, meaning family, friends, giving it to me, whatever. Because that's just not something that I want to waste my money on. Me
That's
personally.
called love bombing.
So he started off the gate buying me name brand purses. This guy even got me a credit card in the first month and a half that we was communicating with each other, right? So I knew what he was doing. I know what you're trying to do. For one, you're trying to buy my love, my attention, my what have you.
Or
You don't know me. Because you think I'm going to spend that credit card. Child, I ain't going to use that money. Are we for real? And then I had friends saying, girl, go out and buy you this. No, for what? He's not getting ready to say claims to nothing over here. We was at brunch and he said to me, this is maybe 2 or 3 months in, I feel like if I'm paying for everything and I'm taking care of everything, then yeah, you should give me what I want when I want it.
May the Lord watch between me and thee, while we're absent one from another, and be out of on that note.
So anybody that knows your girl, I forewarned him, and I said, "This is not the place to have this conversation." I'm like still light and fluffy, but he goes on. Plus, he was a little tipsy, and he keeps going. And I said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I nicely got my food, my little cup, and I walked myself to the car. And I waited, but he sat there and ate by himself. Because, boy, what? Like, come on now. Like,
guess what?
You communicated with me for a few months, so you know some things about me. So I said to him, if you feel like because you are paying for everything, I got to do what you got to do, I'm the wrong woman. But see, his parents, that's the relationship his parents had, right? I picked up on that the first time I met them. That was almost like an Edith Bunker type relationship. Anybody knows Archie and Edith? Hey, this ain't this woman. I'm not this woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Again, I don't mind catering to, supporting, and helping my person. I don't mind that. But he even said to me one time, when I walk in the room, I'm used to the music stopping. Oh, what does that even mean? I said, what you mean? So when I come in the room, if I'm not your focus, then I'm not doing something right. And I thought, well, I guess your ass ain't doing something right. Sorry, James. I guess you ain't doing something right. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Overt narcissist.
Extreme.
But we're not asking the real questions, guys. We're getting all riled up. All right. How long did you date this individual?
We were so let me say there's a thing between dating and communicating. I don't say date.
Here we go.
No, I don't. I don't say, to me, dating is truly just like we are definitely in a phase of we're going to be making this official.
Communicating.
This was still the getting to know each other phase. So probably 3 months. 3 months. But again, those truths start coming out. The drinking habits, functioning alcoholic, right? Father was an alcoholic. So all these things are coming out. You know, he knew what I was about and who I was. I mean, this dude wanted me to sit at an event with high heels on and a tight skirt when everybody else got on sneakers and jeans. I'm not that woman. It don't fit the occasion. So yes, extreme narcissist. However, I was saying all that to say that people show you who they are when they believe. With Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, you got to believe them, right? At that point, you then decide if this is something that you want to continue with or not. I mean, you make that choice, right? So yeah, yeah. So again, that vetting thing, we vetted for a long time.
Andre was mentioning the vetting stage. These people, I've experienced something so similar to that. When it comes to narcissism, they are professionals and there's no vetting because they know the answers to the perfect questions. They know how to put up the whole facade, but that's not really who they are. Their intention is control.
Right. He wanted me. He went in. So
I understand that. And I'm glad you brought that back. Hold on, Tevis. Let me answer this one because this is a good question or a good statement, better. All right, because I deal with that often. All right, you know what? Your answers are just so good. Your answers are just too perfect. And Tevis knows I've done reality dating. I was on Put a Ring on It season 1. And sometimes your answers can be too perfect for women that ask for a perfect answer. And the thing about it is when you give them the right answer, that's not good enough because it's too perfect. But from 41 to 2025, I've been working on getting that answer. I've been working on getting all this right. And then I finally get it right and I give you the right answer and it's too perfect. But at 41 going on 42, I better have the answer. I better have the good answer that's supposed to be impressive, but it's then they're used against me. I've seen this tactic used. It's bewildered me. Someone please on this panel of women that are grown, answer that question that you want a man to know and have the correct answers, and then he gives it to you, and then you're bewildered because you never had it before.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's me. I'm going to be honest with you.
Truth moment. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm not believing anything. To be honest with you, even with vetting, I'm not asking a whole bunch of questions. I'm going to ask you one or two. My memory serves me pretty well, and I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to pay attention to your movement, how you deal with me, your consistency, your non-consistency, if you are who you say you are. And a lot of times, if I ask you one or two questions, something as simple, if you dated such and such, how long were you dating? And you say, oh, we were dating for a month. Then 2 or 3 months down the line, you say, well, I mean, we was together for 2 years. I already got your game plan. So when you said that, I'm going to admit, I'm going to be the first to admit that's how I am. If I ask you 1,001 questions and you sound like you saying everything right, it means absolutely nothing to me, and that's my flaw.
Well, I don't think it's a flaw because, they say actions speak louder than words, right? That's what we've all grown up hearing. Actions speak louder than words. I do feel like actions and words need a match. I'm
glad you said that because the narcissist use nothing but action.
Say what?
Say it again.
The narcissists, they use action. Their money. Because that's a tool.
Right, right. So Ted said, so you say the red flags early and still went forward. Again, I have genuine men that has helped support me financially in some kind of way. Maybe I was going through a hard time. Good ass man. That's what he was. He ain't a narcissist. You can move forward with that person because you see the genuineness. You see the goodness in somebody's heart. However, the other person, it didn't come straight out. I mean, yeah, that purse was like, and it was my birthday, right? So that was his birthday gift to me. The card came out of the blue. So that was like, alert, eyes open. And then when he had that conversation at brunch, it was a wrap after that. So how soon is too soon? I think it just depends on conversations, times, what it looks like. It ain't like everything was happening day 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know what I'm saying? So
Andre, you said something now. I just want to mention this important. You said the narcissist with money. There's 2 types, the overt and the covert. The overt is more of somebody that you mentioned. A lot of times they can cross over, but these are generally the 2. The overt is the one that you said, when I come into the room, everything is supposed to stop. They need to be seen. They need to be dressed up. They need to be seen or heard. Now you have the covert. That's the one that's going to spend the money. He's going to love bomb you. The over ain't doing it. He wants you to fall in love.
This person was both.
What he got. He wants you to fall in love with maybe even his position.
Oh yeah, this was him. He was both though. He was both.
Those most dangerous ones when they have those 2 traits, and there's nothing you can do to get through that. You can ask 1,000,001 questions. You can even watch them. They are skilled. They are tactful in how they do it. And the longer they stay in your life, the longer they have goals to control and tear it all upside down. So, and that's the bad thing about it, because if you think about, as we're talking about marriages, you think about the women and the men that get in these relationships with these people and they think it's love, not realizing that this person has a really bad personality disorder that has no intention of caring about your well-being in that marriage. Now you stuck with them.
Has an addiction to control over people.
That's it. And that's always the goal. Everything that they do for you is because I'm getting ready to come back and ask you for something, and you're going to feel obligated. You're going to feel obligated to do whatever it is, because they always target people that have empathy. You got to be.
Or if somebody, let's say I was a husband or a wife, and I make good money, and you remember who did this. You remember who did that. And the thing about it, you said it earlier. The thing about it is, I'm happy that I can take care of you. And that goes back to what he was saying, men and boys. Now, the point is, I get joy from making you happy. I don't want to hang that over that, because that's, if you're doing it negatively and trying to tell me what you did, that's not love. Love doesn't look like that. It doesn't feel like that. And me making sure that you're safe, me making sure that I can, hey, this is I'm paying homage because you're such a good woman. You deserve this or whatever. And that's how I operate as a man. I give it out of love. It's not out of need, because I need a home and I want you in my home. So I'm going to take care of our home once it becomes ours. And I'm still going to take that responsibility. And I feel like I said, I always tell women to always keep your eyes open with men with money. Not saying you should get a broke dude, but just
everybody has said that.
Make sure you vet him.
I had to learn it.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. And Andre, I know you keep saying this vetting. I'm not in disagreement with vetting. I agree that you should vet, but I'm just saying vetting ain't just in the first 3 months. Vetting takes time.
It's a process.
For sure.
Yeah,
and I do, I had never dated someone that made that kind of money before. That was my first time. And a lot of my guy friends said exactly what you just said. You got to watch men with a lot of money, right? Some of them have preconceived notions, and then they say to you, well, I got to always kind of watch the women because of what I do, I sometimes attract women that just want to use me, right? Or just want my money. But then you throw it out. So, I mean, do you do every woman like you did me? You know what I'm saying? Like, help me understand that. And I am a major empathetic person. So, Don, you saying that?
I'm telling you, they can smell it.
Ding, 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 ding. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm thankful that I am very strong, although very empathetic. You know what I'm saying? So I was very in tune, right? So I wasn't this, I don't want to call anybody weak, but I was not just this very easy, gentle woman, right? I have my own strength. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how long ago that you spoke to this person, but they're not gone. You will eventually get some type of communication, whether it be a text message.
Oh, yeah, he's done that.
During the holidays, they're going to come back around, because a lot of times these people, a lot of people feel like, you know what, when you walk away from somebody that's treating you like that, or you see their intentions, that it's like, oh God, it kills you. It kills them more.
Yeah. Yeah, he has
intentions, and they're so strong because of the money or the material things that they're gonna win.
Yeah,
they're used to winners.
Well, he
Jay Khaled says, all I do is win. They used to win.
Right. Yeah.
So when they don't win, they circle. How they say, spin the block.
Back. Yeah, and he has
time to forget. No, he has no time to forget, but they'll spin the block.
Yeah, and he even said to me then, I'm used to women needing me. I'm used to women needing me. Well, baby, I don't need you. Like I want to desire my companion and want my person, but I don't need you in the way that he wanted me to need him. You know what I'm saying?
Unhealthy emotional trait.
Yes, and it was. It very much so. Very much so. But
now,
again,
on the flip side of that, the women, because I'm sure there's men that has dealt with the women are going to be normally beautiful beings that will lure you quickly, because the first thing they want to do is know about you. They want to know what you like, what you dislike, what do you want in a spouse. They want to know all these things just so that they can form this person of who you want them to be.
This facade.
That's their one. They get this facade together, and then next thing you know, the man is saying he wants to marry her. He's bringing her to the family. Meanwhile, and I'm telling you, they are so good at it.
That sounds like Enough, the movie Enough. Is that the
Jennifer Lopez?
That's what that sounds like.
They are so good at it, so you'll never know that you pray.
Yeah,
you'll never know.
You know.
We can. I'm gonna ask this one last question, then we can get off after this. Now, what do y'all think, or how do y'all feel about stay-at-home dads? Because that is a thing now.
It is.
Okay, you know what? I had that question asked. It was a young lady. She was starting a restaurant. She's like, "How would you feel?" I said, "Technically, I wouldn't be. I would be a stay-at-home dad, but knowing me, I would be working on like a clothing line or a t-shirt business
Right.
or
Right.
paintings because I paint. So I'm not really a stay-at-home dad. I'm more of a relocated dad.
A dad that works from home and takes care of the
A
children.
dad that
You
works
know?
from home. That's
Yeah.
it. It's no
Yeah.
different, you know.
Yeah.
Or
So it
dad
ain't like
that's
you would just be daddy at home,
But
feet
that's
kicked
me.
up, eating. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I get that.
if she made, let's say she made 2 million, right? Let's because that or 200,000 and that's me and you want to do that. The problem lies is there's no then therefore balance of any kind. I would say, brother,
Like
bring
what
some
Donald, like
kind
what
of
Donald said.
income in. That's why it's
Mhm.
important to have a side hustle because
Mhm.
for some odd reason it's an interesting concept. I've heard that men make money to support a family. That's our
Mhm.
thinking, all right, for
yeah.
some. But when that change happens, I've heard that women don't have that same outlook. It's my money. And I don't know if that's a real thing.
Mhm.
Have y'all heard that? Because because you now are getting the money. You have the degree. So now it's like you're in this fake competition and we're not in
Mhm.
competition because I didn't care what you made in the first place.
Mhm.
I
Mm-hmm.
would say
That's
stay
interesting.
home dad thing. I'm not for it either. I think it
Hmm.
takes two people. Now, as far as the woman, being a breadwinner and saying that this is my money, I've heard of it. I mean, I've never been in that situation before, and I can see it, but I think that depends on if you're thinking about what is a Hollywood wives type of situation. Then maybe she feels like, you know what, I make a whole bunch of money. I'm keeping this big lavish house. I'm keeping everything afloat. You're giving a woman the man's role. She
Right.
doesn't know how to. It's almost like a female raising a young man to be a a grown man. That's not her place.
Hey, babe, here's your allowance.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah,
gas money.
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's the money for
That's
Christmas.
so
Go out and grab everything for us. Like,
Yeah,
Um,
and automatically, I'm gonna tell you because okay, we getting real talk. So I'm gonna tell you, I dated somebody before, and I was the breadwinner, and it was hell on wheels. I mean, it really was because, and I was just being myself. I was just being myself, but I felt like it was constant. Instead of it, me getting up and going to work in the morning, and you say, "Okay, great, have a good day," or "I'll call you to make sure you get to work." It's like, well, the hell with her because she's going to this job making this good money, and it was constant. It was some simple conversation about the money situation, or you can afford to do it, or and it was things like that constantly, and I didn't see what was the reason for that because I'm just being me, but it was a constant. So that had to go because I was like, you know what? And sometimes us women, because we're empathetic, we'll get with somebody that doesn't make as much money as us and love on them and hope that they'll be good people, regardless of what their situation is.
mhm.
And say, you know what? My love is going to make this person better. They just don't know I love them. They don't know it's possible to be loved because their ego is in front of them as a man, and they feel like I'm supposed to be making more. I'm supposed to be providing. But men have to understand that providing does not necessarily mean financially. He has to be the breadwinner. He has to be the one taking care of all the bills. Sometimes a man can speak into a woman and then not have anything to do with money. She may come home from a stressful workplace and he can talk into her and build her up, and she can feel like she's got $1 billion in her pocket to be able to go back and conquer this same
That's
situation.
real.
that's
I, and I
Stedman.
and I think so many men miss those small things because
I caught that. I caught that.
like Tez and Jethro, who both said men make money to support the family, women make money to support themselves. Your money is our money, my money is my money, women. So you all both said the same thing. Are there women that feel like that? Absolutely. Again, I do think that certain things are per person, per situation, per relationship,
I love
right?
that y'all like to say
I
that.
think I
I
think
love that y'all like to say that.
well, I
And,
don't
and
think
y'all as
we're,
the women
tomato
race.
tomato. That's what I'm saying. Again, did I not acknowledge some women probably are like that? Did I say all men are narcissistic? I did not. So I need y'all to quit hanging
That's
on
not
to
that's
like
but
every woman being the same, because that is not what it is.
Oh.
Again, per situation, per woman, per man, per relationship. Me, because I have had to be a provider of my family, I don't move like that. If I met a man that made what I made or more, right, we're going to figure out how to maneuver those funds. We will figure it out.
That's how
And
sensitive we are now.
It ain't about in some cases who makes more. Do I know of men who have felt some kind of way because their women did make more money? Yeah, but as long as that woman is making him feel like he is contributing in whatever way he wants to, or that he's a part, then it's that space, it's that language, it's that communication, right? So I think, again, yeah, I agree. Some women are like that, but not every woman is like that. I do believe, let me say this. This is kind of like a sidebar. We women are built differently, as you all know men are. Our emotional strength in a lot of cases are much stronger than men. Just like y'all are physically stronger than us. So when you guys are scarred or hurt or disappointed, every woman gets that from you all. Every woman gets that. We can be abused physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And we still gonna look for a man or hope God sends us a man that's gonna love us unconditionally. And not, I ain't saying all women, and not hold it against the next person. I have had to say, I am not her. So when you talk about women or us, I need you to say that. Don't include
we gotta try harder.
Because I'm not going to include you into the narcissistic man that I was hanging out with for a little while. You see what I'm saying? So I think that dynamic gets a little sticky and a little froggy, but I do feel like that's that emotional intelligence. That's that emotional strength. That is that capability. So yeah, Andre, I know you be on that boat. But
so I'm gonna add to that.
I can't ride on that boat with you.
I'm gonna add to that. When you say women are women,
we coming.
He rolled his eyes.
Whatever.
Women are emotional. Yes, men, y'all are emotional, but y'all learn early in life to compartmentalize y'all emotion. When you're little boys, you're taught when you hurt your knee, get up, don't cry, don't let us know that girl hurt you. He hit you, go hit him back. You're taught to hide your emotions early in life. So when you run into a woman, and we are, even as grown men, it's in you. That's why there's always an issue in balance when the woman makes more money, or if the man is not making enough money. It's always an issue because men have been taught to be masculine and hide those emotions. Now a woman comes along and she's trying to get you to pull those emotions out. Unless you have been taught by some man in your life and some woman in your life that it's okay to let go and be yourself emotionally to a woman. A lot of y'all don't know how.
And Jethro, she just answered your question. She just answered that. How is emotional strength better than men when you all are so emotional about everything? Yeah, emotional about everything, but our capacity to move on, to forgive, to get through and get over, we have the skills. We have the ability to do it. Y'all don't. Not only y'all do.
From having children. Our children, when they're young, your children might cry. They might get mad. They may do this. You still have to love on them. So we learn how to deal with our emotions and still learn how to love regardless.
Yeah.
That's why so many women stay with men and they give them chance after chance. And so the man, he's learned the pattern of she ain't going nowhere. I can do whatever I want to do to her.
But
because we learn how to deal with our emotions.
But see, here's the thing. There are some guys that will stay with a woman and give her chance after chance after chance.
I don't know too many.
To do the same mistake. It depends on if he really loves her or not. If he really loves her, he's going to stay around to be like, you know what, I still see the good in her. I must try to make this work. But once he gets fed up, then he's going to be done. It comes to a point to where you have to realize what is your cutoff point.
To me, that all depends on what the availability of the next chick is.
I don't agree with that.
And he will try to get that wall built down until somebody else is showing him a little attention, or he's getting somebody else is,
Man,
Give him a
but
little
see,
attention. And he's
that's the
like, you know
same
what?
thing.
I have time to.
But we stick and stay too, James. We stick and stay too, right? We deal with the lack of communication, the silent treatment, the overt
I didn't say y'all didn't.
extreme. You know, again, I think it's all about per person, per situation, per what they want to deal with. Andre, go, because you itching right now to talk.
Go on,
It's,
boy.
it's
Tag,
killing
you
me
it.
over here. It's just
Go on,
killing
boy.
me. The lack of responsibility, the lack of emotional intelligence.
like
And the
somebody I
reason
know.
why I say this is because I am the son of a woman, single mother, 3 kids. Father went to prison, was never really around. Stepfather was, alcoholic and abusive, domestic violence. And I will not allow myself to be like my father, to be like traditional men, because I put my foot in the sand or in the ground and I said I wasn't going to move. I put the work in. I tried my best. That's all I can do. And the fact that, people say you're a unicorn because you're this, that, and the other. No, I practice being a unicorn. I practiced being emotionally intelligent. I practiced being attentive. I practiced doing all these things. So the thing is, I know the narcissistic guys are out there, and that's what it is. But you know what? You use that intuition that so many women have, or some women have, and you use that at its highest level. All right. And you put that work in, because I'm gonna put that work in. I promise you, you'll find you'll be able to make discernment. I guess because this is religious basis, some of the quotes in there, but you use that discernment and make these. You're gonna have to make quick cuts. All right, we don't have time. We are losing time. We are getting older. We don't have time for these games. We don't have months. All right, ask the questions. Have a conversation, like you said. If people with disabilities or can do this, come on.
Right.
It's just simple
For
math.
real.
Right. I agree. But Andre, I'm going to say this. One of the reasons, would you agree that one of the reasons why you are in tune to those things about knowing how to communicate, and just like you said, you holds no slack with women, is it because some of the things that maybe you've seen your mom go through? Maybe it's taught you to be more connected emotionally.
Yeah. I mean, some of that, and also
every man don't have that.
You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what a man has gone through. No one. I'm gonna tell you something that I've never told anyone before. The man that was the abuser, because I was a child. This is for people that are single parents. As a single child, I wanted my mom to be happy, and I said yes, go. But my intuition said no. I don't like him. That is not it. But seeing my mom be alone, I made a bad decision. I should have told her the truth. All right. And those things can ring out. So, but that was also her decision too. You can't let a 13 or a 12-year-old boy make a decision for you. So take that accountability. But that does render. So my thing is, you're right. Those things do ring a bell. Being, married to my dad and other people, my trust, I don't really trust people like that. Whoa. You're going to have to work to get this.
Right.
So those things do play a part.
You mentioned single mother. I'm a single mother also, and that was something that when I spoke to you about a relationship that I was in, when I started seeing that my son was being mistreated and mistreated, he was never. I always taught him to have that dialogue, and just like you said, the children, they want you to be happy, but sometimes you got to go behind them closed doors, have that conversation. Let's go out to eat. Let's go to your favorite restaurant. Let's have some conversation, and it might not be directly on this other person. But let's have some conversation about what you think our relationship should be like. Do you see this a long-term thing? That child's going to start to tell you. And as a woman, as a single mother, I know a lot of us don't do it because some of us are so wanting to be in a relationship and wanting to be loved. We ignore that child. Then that child ends up growing up and having issues with his mother, having paternal issues. And then he has to create this false image about himself to pretend that he is all that. He is stronger than he is. And that's where the narcissism comes into play. It's an image that they create as a child and doesn't allow them to emotionally mature. And so they become this person, I have a whole bunch of money, so I'm going to treat you this way until I feel like it. And I'm going to control your emotions. I want to control when you're happy. I want to control when you're sad, because
I had
there's
no
a type
control.
of neglect in their life.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm finished.
No. I was just gonna say that I have a girl child and a single mom for 16 years now, and the thing that was always to me is not ever allowing her to see. Now, does she know? Because it's me and her, and we close to two peas in a pod, so she knows if mommy's talking to someone. But I always let her know if it gets serious, mommy will let you know. But a lot of these guys that I have communicated with, interacted with, not inside my home, I think in order to get my attention, they will buy my kid stuff. They will send her a pair of Jordans. They will get this. They will do that. Like, just, we could just be having random conversations and I'm not thinking much about it. Like saying, we might have a pair of shoes in the mail. You see what I'm saying? But this is them. You trying to buy her, you trying to buy me. What does this look like? So automatically my flags go up. Like, what is this? You see what I'm saying? So, I think that it is important to communicate with our children and interact with our kids and have check-ins with our children when we're dating people, right? Because there has to be a comfort. Now, there's been times like you, Andre, where she's like, yeah, I ain't really like him. Like, this guy proposed to me prematurely, like 3 months in, like 3 months. And I told my daughter, and she was like 8, 9, maybe. We just moved in the house, so maybe 9. And she was just like, Mommy, don't you think that's too soon? And I'm like, yeah. But everybody feels differently. Let's see what this looks like. Because I couldn't even say yes. I was just like, my response to that was, don't you think this is too soon? That's what I said, which made him feel some kind of way. But I'm like, dude, this is just 3 months.
3 months.
Like, what?
Because
a lot of men think that that's all us women want, is to be married.
And he was very narcissistic too. He was narcissistic.
But he knew also that sooner or later you was gonna figure out his traits. So he figured it would be harder for you. It would be harder for you to leave him as his wife than it would be him to leave you leave him as his girlfriend.
We skipped steps. Like, are we boyfriend and girlfriend? I missed that. Did you like? Did we say this was? I missed all them steps, right?
He was standing on business.
Yeah, exactly.
He knew what he wanted. He knew he had a good thing. He was like, "Hey, yo, Tevez."
Yeah.
What he's saying is what you were supposed to feel like. He know he got a good thing, instead of saying. But think about the women that don't. That red flag don't. They just so happy. Oh my gosh, I have one child, but think about the women that have multiples. They find this man, and this man has been with them for a few months, and they're like, oh my gosh, he wants to marry me. Finally, love. The red flags are not going off. Now, years later, we got this home situation that these children are watching all this nonsense go on and go in their head. And this is the idea of what family is. So it's like I always tell women, sometimes you have to be patient and not jump on the first thing that's smoking.
That's right.
Because sometimes it's smoking because somebody else skid their tires up. And
left them smoking for real.
Yeah, that's what the smoke is. You gotta, and sometimes you just gotta enjoy. I remember talking to a pastor one time, and one of the things that he said was, sometimes you gotta enjoy what it is right now. Mm-hmm. And that's something I had to tell myself. Sometimes you just gotta enjoy what it is right now. This thing might not be. Everything has a season, and this thing might not be long term. Right. Sometimes you have to go in it and enjoy it. If you with somebody that's treating you nicely, y'all are going places, enjoying different things, whatever it is, sometimes you have to enjoy it. And you're a woman, sometimes you can be dealing with somebody you like this thing about them, but you don't like this thing. And I ain't doing nothing else right now. Right. This is okay for the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm
so that
you said that. I'm so glad you said that.
We know it. And guess what?
World,
sometimes men won't even have no idea that we already know it.
But sometimes, because of the expectations of the end goal that you want, and I hate to, I don't even know if I hate to say it, I'm just being real. Let's say that possibly may not happen, but this is what you want. You like this person, whatever. But like you said, this season, and I've heard this, I'd rather just be alone and at the house just by myself. What if you actually found somebody that actually treated you right? You had good times, but see, the thing is, no, I can't do that because I'm gonna want you, and then I'm gonna develop feelings. And you don't think I'm developing feelings too? Because as a man, I'm not letting you in my personal space. I'm not spending my money on you because I just, like you a lot.
Dre, y'all show it differently. That's the problem. See, if this woman is saying, you know what, I don't want to, you are supposed to verbalize that to her, and then what? Show her. If she's telling you that she wants to stay in and she don't want to catch feelings for you, there's something about you that's making her unsure. Something that's making her unsure. Maybe it could be her past. It could be something you said in a minor conversation. Then you have to put the work and effort in to show her if this is really what you feel. Because you got to think, people, not just men, but women, we going through some things out here in the dating pool. Y'all know I got pee in it.
Right. And well, and that's the
what
thing.
you talking about?
That's showing.
You said what?
What you say, Andre?
I said it's been had pee in it. What y'all talking about? Ain't
No,
nothing changed.
I was just gonna say, it's that showing, like show us. Again, the actions speak louder than words. I think actions and words need to match. Show, communicate, right? Like if you really want me, and the selfish thing is, don't hold on to me. You may not be ready right now at this single moment, but don't hold on to me just because you know I'm a good woman and you don't want nobody else to have me, right? Like, because I'm praying for us and for us, but like I need you to be clear on what you want and don't want, right? Whatever that may be. And a man that is unsure and is uncertain is going to make a woman unsure and uncertain, right? A man has to be sure. He has to be secure in his wants and his needs and his desires for a woman.
Fact, so that's not what she said, though. She said enjoy the moment for the season. Are you changing?
No, I know what she said. I'm just saying this. I'm just saying this. Yeah, I'm just saying this. So yes, Bianca said it doesn't take a man long to decide if he wants you as a wife. I agree. Me and my person had this conversation the other week. Like, you have your fun girls, your friend girls, that like your homies, and then you have the wife, right? And he clearly said, you are that wife. You are that wife. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. And it's been 9-10 months for us. So yeah, I agree that a man knows sooner than later. I do. Whether they move, depending on how they move, is what depends on, I guess, the growth factor of the relationship. And yes, you definitely do have to take him to God in prayer, honey. Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that. But I think the idea of marriage for both a man and a woman is so different. A man feels like I'm signing up to be trapped. Right. A woman feels like I'm starting up for my life to turn into a fairy tale. Talking about what the show that I was talking about, Love Spectrum, one of the females, they asked her, what do you want to get married for? She said, because I want to be a princess and I want to feel safe. That's how women look at an idea of women. That's how we look at marriage. We look at companionship, our partner. To be
like companionship.
Yeah, that's what we're taught being little. Look at you being growing up. But
I mean, I have a desire. That is a desire for me. I can take care of me financially. I can take care of me. But having a helpmate for me would be great as well, because I won't have all the financial burdens on my own. But I truly, sincerely desire companionship. Like it's and God knows my heart, so I know. And when I say it, it's just like my heart goes to fluttering, because that is a deep desire for me. Believe it or not.
I feel the same way. It's a desire for me to have companionship, but the pace cannot be too fast.
If I
see that there's some emotions, I'm like this, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm gone. Because to me, that connection, the reality of it is, when we look at these relationships now, we look at the celebrities. They have it all. The women can go get the butt injections, the breast injections, the facelifts, and where's homeboy at? We can get the fancy $300, $400 wigs, do all that. The relationships are not lasting. So when I get into a relationship and I feel like there's emotion on my behalf and I don't see it on your behalf, I'm a memory, because I don't. This is something that I don't feel comfortable doing because you got so much failure nowadays. You got the narcissists. He's running around love bombing and making you think that everything is real. How do you really know? And the worst thing to do is get connected and be stuck with somebody that is not who they was at the beginning.
Right.
That's my fear. That this person not be who they really were. Now I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough. I mean, you know what? You're dropping some really good ones, some really segues, because I believe that a lot of people are dating in fear. All right, we are dating in fear. We're dating in traumatic experiences. And I was just listening to a self-help book today because I'm trying to be better at communicating with people. Is that our emotional connections to things create an invisible barrier to a situation that possibly may never happen. All right. And we also call those, for women that I've dealt with, phantom red flags. You know what? My ex used to do that. You know what? That looks like something. All right. And the thing is, he could have did that. There's only one thing different about that. I'm not him. So I may not react to it if you question me. I may be like, you know what? I did do that. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say this. I'm not trying to sway you. So the thing is, once again, it goes back to the number one thing of using communication and picking someone that is actually going to listen to you and wants to learn you and actually care about your well-being. You do those things, you pick those three things, and I guarantee you will find your husband. I guarantee you will find your wife. But the thing is, those people are the people that we don't want.
We won't. Here's the thing. We living in a society where we say we want the good woman. We're saying we want the good man. But let's be real. A lot of us are attracted to the toxicity a lot of the times. We want it, but the toxicity is more fun for us sometimes.
Oh, yeah. That's spicy young lady.
I don't agree with that, though, because like we spoke about men making a lot of money. I've dated guys that make a lot of money, and I've dated guys that don't make as much money as me. And I don't feel like, and I've dated the one that, is not so attractive, the heavier guy. I've dated the not so heavy guy. And I feel I'm serious about, and I don't know if it comes with age, because as I get older, all that means nothing to me. I met a guy one time that told me how much money he made from the beginning. And I guess I was supposed to be like, oh,
that's a turn off. That's a major turn off to me.
It's a major turn. Yes. You know what, sis? I don't hear many women saying this, but for a man to meet me and he is immediately telling me how much he makes,
major turn off.
I'm not even that interested in you anymore.
Yeah.
That's my turn off if a woman does that. Ask me, what do I do? If that's your first question or second question.
What do you do is different from how much money you make. Because I want to know what you do.
But if you want to
what is your line of work?
I'm going to tell you how much money I'm making.
If you tell
I'm glad you said that honestly, because that's the point.
Because if you say that you work in HVAC, like, tell me more. I don't know jack about it.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
This is me. I'm never going to ask a man how much he works, how much he makes. Because that ain't none of my business.
You got Indeed.
I don't never want to know that. Say what?
You got Indeed for that. That's the whole point of the question. You didn't ask me what I like to do,
listen,
where I like to go. There's so many other questions we could get to. Hold on, ladies, because I'm a guy telling you what we think.
Come on, boy.
Some of us think.
Come on, boy.
If that's the first question that you got to come out of your mouth, I'm done. Ask me things like, do you like Womp? Do you work out? Do you do this?
I don't think that we were saying that would be our first question, Andre.
That's what I said. That's what I was saying. And I'm saying I said that's if a woman comes at me with the first question of what do, you're counting my pockets off top, and I don't even know if I like you yet.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. Me personally, I'm around a lot of men that wear uniform, and so a lot of times when we are asking what do you do, and you are not. When you used to be around men in uniform and they're not wearing uniform, when you see somebody, you try to imagine them in their work role. When you, for example, when we were talking about construction, I'm yip yapping about construction. I had no idea that you knew anything about an HVAC, air conditioner, or a tube or anything. Okay, so sometimes we have to remember that us women, we got our little images that we put in our heads. So we're trying to put our image in our head of what you do. It's not always about, now if you volunteer the information and you say, hey, well, I make $80,000-$90,000 a year. Oh, you letting me know that I make a whole bunch of money and I want to see, is this money gonna make you be who I want you to be? That's it.
I love your perspective.
For
I
her
really do.
for her asking that question, she's just trying to get an idea. She may be looking at you and saying, let's see how he would look in that construction hat. Let me see how he would look in that reflective vest.
You buying this, brother? Are you
But-
buying this right now?
No,
I'm not buying
no,
this. I can't buy it.
No.
I'm not buying it.
No.
I'm buying your
Yeah,
friend.
and like I was saying, like if I ask,
Not at all.
So of course it's not my. Well, I can't say of course. It's not my first question to ask what you do, but is it a conversation we have? Yeah, because I mean, yes. So let me just say that yes, I will ask, but I'm not asking because I need to know how much you make. I'm asking because I genuinely want to know. Well, what do you do for a living?
That's different.
That's
And
it.
what I'm saying is there are a million other questions that you can ask.
You're
like
not
5 or
hearing
3.
me, Andre.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to hear you anymore.
Well, then I'm not
All
trying
right,
to hear you
so
then.
the
So
point
what you
is-
talking about?
when you ask me that, because the man can't be like, this is the thing. Counting a man's pockets is like a man asking, it's a personal question,
that's
first of all,
the
in our
thing.
opinion. So the thing is, I can't be like, how's your intimacy level? And I'm trying to use that because
Come
we're
on.
on a Christian channel, but I can't ask you about certain things because I may not want to teach you about certain things. I know I might be going left or a little extreme,
No.
but that's how I
you
feel
good.
about it. All right. How's your sex? That's basically what I'm asking. How's your sex? That's y'all. Oh my God, you can't ask that. I don't feel like you should be asking me what do I do because you
You
aren't
said
my
so. You
person.
went to it being the first question to not at all. Which
No,
one
No, I
is
didn't.
it?
This
See?
is
So,
the
so
That's
difference.
the
that's
rabbit
what I'm
hole
saying.
we're
You're
talking
not
about.
hearing me. You're not hearing me. That's what I'm saying.
Andre,
I received you saying not the first question. I totally agree with that. Because Don, what did you say? You don't like? We said we didn't like the first question to be of them telling us how much money they make, right?
no, yeah.
So I agree with you on that, Andre. That is clear. That is clear. And yes, it would definitely be inappropriate for a man to approach us and ask us how our sex life is. But that ain't no different from a man saying, you 45, you got all these degrees and you ain't got a husband. What's wrong with you, Negro? What's wrong with you? Because you single too.
Right.
You know what? I'm
But let
gonna
me say this really quickly.
go ahead.
You said what is the difference between asking a man where he works and asking a woman her intimacy level or what her sex is like?
Now, before you do this, before you mess this up,
if you can't put I'm a construction worker on your forehead, you shouldn't have to worry about asking a female where her sex game is like.
you know what I'm saying,
one
and
is
you
not.
are deliberately tearing it to pieces like an attorney on an OJ case right now.
That's what I do.
You know that some
Some
women
days-
count pockets, and if that's the first question,
Some women.
I'm not doing it. All right, I'm not. I don't say how much you make. I say how's your day today. Are you enjoying your day? There's a whole conversation.
What's your
before I
favorite
get
color?
to build
What's
up
your
to-
favorite food?
So how long would it take a woman that you're
Right.
dating? to
What
ask
do you
what
do
she
now?
does?
Why? No, hold on. Why is that not rational? How are you doing today? What is this? What do you like to go out? Because I'm building up to the date. But as
I
a
agree with
man,
that.
I'm
I don't
telling you,
disagree with that.
that's what I'm saying.
How
As a
long would
man,
you-
the top 2 questions go from, "Hey, how are you doing? Da 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 da. What do you do? What does that matter right
Well,
now?
I
We're just
mean,
talking. We're strangers.
Yeah. To me, that's an insecurity thing if it's that serious. Because, and I say that because, no, should it be the first question? No. But if we got this long extended, if we're sitting at dinner because our conversation is so good and we done been sitting and talking for 2 and 3 hours,
Remember about that rabbit hole.
why could we not ask that question? Because you're going to want to know what I do. So if you ask me what I do, why I can't ask you what you do?
We're not saying that you can't ask
Wait a
that,
minute. Have you
but
asked
it
her?
don't need to be the first
You
question.
checked her out.
James, and I agree with that. I've already agreed with that. I already agreed that it shouldn't be the first question. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm saying when is the right time to ask that question? When is the right time? If we sit down for 2 or 3 hours, can we have it? Or it doesn't need to be two months down the line. When is the right time?
I'm gonna answer that question for you, Tevis. And you know what I'm gonna ask for, and I hope everybody witnessed, because you actually have helped me demonstrate my rabbit hole effect, and also how passionate you are in your argument. All right. Now, Have you noticed? Have you
'Cause you
noticed your
get ready to be
tone
wrong, but go ahead.
while we've been talking? All right, you've been
You said
very
what?
passionate. All right,
Oh,
I
because
said, have
I'm
you noticed?
passionate. That's me.
Oh
Anybody that
yeah,
knows
she's passionate on every
about
topic.
You know,
anything. So
I know, right?
Andre, when you get
Everyone.
ready to be
I'm just,
stereotypical,
hey,
I don't want to be ugly.
I'm
Don't
not
do
being
that.
stereotypical.
I
I'm
am
just saying this is
passionate
what I was
about a
asking
lot of things.
earlier
I'm
about
passionate
talking
about
to a man
maternal
and making
health.
them safe.
I'm
So you're
passionate about
passionate,
teenage children. I'm passionate about
and now
homeless. I'm
you
passionate about dating.
you
I'm
make it
passionate about a
you
lot.
make
This
you
is
making the point.
me. This
You
is
making
how
the
I
point,
express myself.
and that's
Because
okay.
you express yourself calmly, that's you. There's
No,
no
you,
harm in that.
I didn't used
If
to,
you want
but
to
I
stay
had to because
monotone,
women were not responding a certain
if you
way.
want to stay monotone while you express yourself, that's your choice. I'm passionate.
I'm
That's
just
me.
trying to give
And
you some
again,
Let me ask you a question.
again, you
Let me
like
ask you a
it or
question.
you don't. I'm from some, and I'm not, and I'm okay with that. So no,
I
I'm not
like
proving
Jen
your
to
point.
be
But
the
go
Let me
ahead.
ask you a question. Andre and James, how long would you talk to a female before asking what does she do? Where does she work? Wait, anything. How long?
that probably might even be like day 2 or day 3. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
could be the day, it could be the first day, but that's because she asked me that and then I go into it. But
So
I'm
you
not
would
really,
ask her.
no, I'm not really concerned about her job.
And
My thing is,
men typically aren't.
my
We had
thing
that
is,
conversation.
my thing is, I'm not concerned about what you do. I'm more concerned about how you are going to be a benefit to what I do. I'm gonna pay attention to what you say to me in our beginning of conversations, because as you talk in the beginning conversations, I'm gonna be able to study if you're even worth me telling you
Okay.
what I do.
Okay, there's something in there. So Andre, so if you're talking to a female and this is, let's say day 3, day 4, and she tells you that she's a exotic dancer or whatever name that they like to call it, she's an exotic dancer and she works, hit the whole thing. She works at night from 11 p.m. till 2 in the morning, and then she works backstage. That's the explanation that she gives. How do you feel about that? Let's say 3rd or 4th day you find this out. How do you feel about that when you hear that?
How much money is she making a night?
And then that's
I'm
gonna
just playing. I'm just playing. I loved you. You took a moment.
My question is for real. I was gonna say then that qualifies if she should stay on the pole or not.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
No,
saying
but
like
The reason I'm asking that is because years ago I had a friend that was in that field,
right.
and she always told me that when she dated guys, because she was single, that when she dated guys, she never told them what she did.
She should.
I didn't understand why she didn't, because if you can earn your money this way and let a whole bunch of people see you in this form, why are you hiding?
don't be ashamed of it, right?
Don't be ashamed of it, right? So she said that the reason why is because men run.
Yeah.
This was probably about 15 years ago that I knew this female. I don't know what's going on with her now, and I didn't understand that. Now I think things are different. I don't think a man would care.
No,
why?
we do. We still care.
Some would be like,
yeah, but that's a lifestyle
he's
thing.
making a whole bunch of money.
That's
I'm
some,
sorry,
and those are you.
the wrong way. The reason why most men wouldn't care, the reason why they wouldn't care is because
she bringing in the money.
No.
But let me say this, Don. I've had pastors tell me that. I had went on a date with a guy, and I just noticed, we do our little research. I just noticed that he did a lot of things by way of, creations of stuff, flyers, blah, blah. I didn't really know what he did at the time. And it took about a week before I said, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Because something was like,
he's all over the place.
More and more churchy. I was seeing more churchy stuff, right? And he kind of giggled, and I was like, "Are you a pastor?" And he said, "I am." And I said, "So why would you?" I mean, I was like, "Why do you don't lead with that?" That's what I said. I said, "You don't lead with that." And he said, "I don't, because believe it or not, some women want pastors. They want pastors. They want that lifestyle. They want that title. They want da 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 da." And I said, that is interesting. I just never thought of it like that, because I ain't been one that just wanted to date a preacher. Okay. I just ain't never been that chick. But he, being that type of job, he didn't share that information with me. I really kind of had to just be nosy and so, looking around, and I thought, I think he's a preacher. So I say that to say that I think there are some jobs that people are kind of discreet about because of maybe the title or the requirements or expectation that comes along with it. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I can understand that. And I guess if I dated a man or going out on a date with a guy and he told me he was a stripper or a male, what have you, I don't know what I would say. I really don't.
And see, the reason why I said that is because men always make it look like us women are all about the money. But when a man tells a woman, see, a man, he can get with a woman off of her looks and want to marry her. But when he hears that she's looking good, she's a stripper, exotic dancer, and she's making a whole bunch of money, oh, it's a win-win. But when we do it, we be gold diggers. Men have the same standards. It's just they put a little bit more into it. They want to know she looks good, she's an exotic dancer, and she's making a whole bunch of money. But when we do it, we gold digging.
That's called pimping. That's what he's doing. He's pimping. I don't. Who do you hang around? Who do you know? Like, these are now. I'm concerned because nobody wants that. I do not want anyone to see. I purposely want to date someone. How many people have you dated? How many people? That's a question. I don't want a lot of people to see this woman unless she's dealing with an entertainer. I am not comfortable. I am not comfortable. All right.
Well, I think sometimes a man is not going to be prideful in saying it, but I think they got a few strippers in their Rolodex that they don't want you to know about because it's not something that they tell the public.
He said it. They're fun girls. They're there for a purpose. They're not there for they're not there for wives. I can't show this. I can't show her Instagram to my mama. Hey, this is
I don't agree with that. I think if this woman is able to keep a lavish lifestyle going and she looks modest when she goes in the street so other people can't tell it, he may not want to live wherever she does her pole stripping thing at, but as long as she's bringing in that dough and she's helping to keep his lifestyle going and having him looking good, he does not care. Well, and I see it across the board. They may not want anybody to know.
And some people definitely feel that way. Ted said on here, most men care because most men don't want other men to see their women in pretty much in that light. And I think that's the thing too. Some men are going to support it. You may find a few that support it, and then some it's just like, nah. And like Jethro said,
I actually had a friend that used to do that, and it didn't work out for her as well. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, sweet person, great woman, artistic, entrepreneurial based, which they're regular people. They're not different. And like you said, times have changed. But there are guys, like you said, I won't disagree with that. You know what, baby? That's what you do. You're an entertainer.
I guess it depends on what they want, where they at, and what they really want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These comments are flying by, and I'm trying to read them fast, but I don't have.
Did we read? Hold on, it was one. Was it Bianca? My first question. 852. What is your relationship with God? Okay, she was talking about her first question is, what is your relationship with God? I need to know where your heart and mind is because you may be my husband and you will be head of our household. That needs to be established first. I think Ted said we was going off the rails when Andre tried to call me out about my emotions being.
I did call you out.
I don't appreciate
that.
But
right.
Anyway,
I didn't call her out.
Yeah, you was wrong too. So anyway, then he said, why would a man care about your job? You're not going to spend the money on him. That is not true. That is not true. I don't believe that.
I was just saying, Ted, don't get me right.
It's about
I just don't think it's true. What'd you say, Don?
It's about putting her in a position where she wants to. You know what? Even going back to what we was talking about, as far as a female being the breadwinner and what she would do with her money. If I was the breadwinner in that type of situation, first of all, I'm gonna make sure my hair and nails, all the things that I like to have done. But if my man needs or wants certain things, yes, I'm gonna do that. It's about what kind of woman you find. Every woman is not tight on a dollar.
Oh, and if I'm looking good, I want my man looking good too. was just fresh too. Like, come on now.
And immediately, if he notices that, he should just, you don't care about me.
Even if you tell me what you do, I still don't know what the hell you do. Well, you won't know if you don't ask questions. You got to ask questions. Okay, well, you do this. Oh, well, what do they do? You do HVAC. Oh, so tell me more about that, right? You ask questions.
And then see, another thing is, I think that when you're talking to somebody and it's somebody new, you don't know what they do, you have to create a comfortable atmosphere. That's like you're talking to somebody new and they get this idea that, you know, you're a gold digger or whatever. They're not going to want to tell you what they do. And there's some men that look at some women and say, okay, well, she's high maintenance. I'm afraid to tell her what I do, because his thing is he has to be able to provide all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you have to create a comfortable environment and maybe let them know ahead of time, listen, I can take care of me. I'm not interested in looking for nobody to take care of me. Then normally that man is going to feel comfortable spilling the beans.
Yeah.
He's going to feel comfortable because he's going to say to himself, you know what? I can tell that she's not like that. She's not looking for somebody to take care of her. It's about creating an atmosphere and being open and honest. Now, if you let him know, you know, just as you was talking about the guy that was sending Jordans and doing this and other, he was thinking to himself, okay, if I provide this child, because yes, they will go through the children. If I provide this child all these things, then maybe I can get the mom. Maybe the daughter is going to talk to the mom and make her woo my way. It's about letting it be known early. Listen, I dated a guy like that. He did a lot of things for my son. And I had to let him know, listen, you're doing all these things and he's a kid. He is going to enjoy every ounce of what
he sure is. So don't get mad if he comes saying, JoJo, will you buy me a pair of sneakers? Like, don't get mad because you setting that tone for him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me be clear.
Right. And then I think too, some people assume that if you're a single parent, the father is not active or financially giving. Well, that's not our case. You know, my daughter's father is fine. He does what he's supposed to do. He supports her. She didn't need it. You see what I'm saying? So I guess it's just a way that they go about, like you said, Sean.
I got a question because I think you guys missed it, and maybe I'm digging too deep for this one. I think you're gonna enjoy this one, Rev. Would you guys agree that some women are good detectives? And there's a reason why I'm asking. You probably missed it. Tevis, I'm coming for you again. How long did it take you to detect or sleuth to find out that gentleman was a preacher?
Probably about a week.
A week. So once again, I'm going back to make my case of vetting and understanding that you sleuth your way into figuring out this gentleman was a preacher, but yet narcissist of a high government agency that's been, military trained sometimes slips through you guys' grasp. I'm just trying to connect the dots on how these things happen, because I'm just saying that you're great. First of all, I just want to say y'all are great detectives and you do these things. So is it like a turn off switch of how 3 months, a week, and you found out his whole social security card and you mapped out his whole driveway and you know that he has a wife and 3 kids in Alabama, but you just couldn't quite see that he was a whole
so with the pastor, I'm gonna answer your question. So with the pastor, he was giving off those pastor vibes, and I'm like, I need something ain't right. What is he really doing? You know what I'm saying? And so it didn't take hard because I could have looked at his social media before our date. I could have looked at it and found it out, right? I didn't go to YouTube. I didn't go to Google. I went to his Facebook page and scrolled down his feed. That's how I found out.
Okay.
Right? So it ain't like I was just doing all this deep, dark researching on Google and YouTube. Now, don't get it twisted.
I think
have I Googled somebody before? I sure have. Will I do it again? If I feel like I need to, I will. Now, flip it. But it takes me, by your accordance, a couple months or to figure out something. No, it don't. But it's all about our tolerance. I picked up on the alcoholism pretty fast, right? but I wanted to kind of see. I wanted to see because I dated an alcoholic before, an overnight alcoholic. So I knew the signs, right? Mm-hmm. And so then I started kind of waving. Then we kind of started talking. He was telling me his father was an alcoholic. He had a sister that was an addict. So this ran in the family. So don't get it twisted. Was I with these people for 6, 9, 12 months? No, they never went past 2 or 3 months. But
I'm just deep diving. That's all.
I just kind of want to make sure that when I'm making decisions, right, based off of my comfort.
I support you 1,000%.
And if that takes 3 months for me, it takes 3 months. If it takes 3 hours for you, it takes 3 hours for you. That's your choice.
It takes me way longer than that.
I'm getting ready to drop the ball, and I'm gonna say this to every woman watching, to every woman in the world. When it comes to dating, we are all detectives. I don't care. Now we may be at different levels.
This Tez guy needs me.
I'm enjoying Tez.
I'm sorry,
Tez.
Tez is on one.
I'm ready to find you, Tez. Okay. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm telling you, we have different levels of it. Now, there's some that may want to peek in the bushes and all that extra stuff. But as far as every woman having that detective in her. Yes, honey, we all got it. We will heighten it for who we want to heighten it for, and we will lessen it for who we want to lessen it for. But we know how to do it. We know how to figure out, find out, pay attention to, and men can't stand it. But the reality of it is that's not how the world is today. You have to.
Men talk like women. They talk just like women. If you know somebody, I went to college with them. They gonna chit chat about, oh no, I know Teva. She date da da da. Oh, she was the bow leg girl. Wasn't she the real skinny girl? Da, da, da. Y'all talk like girls sometimes.
Now you're going too far. We do have intimate, in-depth conversations.
Whatever.
Just to make sure we ain't dating.
Our detective skills may just look a little different from y'all, but when y'all asking these questions to these boys or people y'all know from school or whatever, y'all do the same thing.
Just like Tevis admitted and I admit it, we admit it. Y'all like to act like we ain't paying attention to nothing. We ain't. Y'all paying attention and watching. And,
1,000%.
And talking to your boys, because you got to find out, has anybody else been there before?
Bingo.
What the deal is, and if this is like a stalker chick or you're gonna have issues with her, y'all do it too. We're just a little bit more open about it, and we will say things to let you know that's our intention. We might ask questions or ask your whereabouts, something like that, but we all got it in us, all of us. Any females watching, yes, y'all, we all doing it.
What is your profession? All right, this is not a first date, so I can ask this right off the cuff.
Answer. I mean, we've been on it for about 2 hours. So
I've been attentive. You are a spin doctor.
Look. In his defense, it ain't like this is the first question that he's asking. He's been asked other questions. So I mean, the brother got a right to ask his question.
The way she'll say something and it'll be like, the clouds are blue, but are they really blue? Because sometimes give it a yellow tint, and it could possibly be.
Guess what? Teva's got the same thing. Hers is just not open. Mine is open. James knows why. It's very open. She got the same thing. She's just a little subtle about it. Trust me when I tell you, we all got it.
No, she's heard hers, but I know Tevis. I don't know you. So
we not gaslighting nobody, but we do keep going in this rabbit hole he keeps talking about. Now he wants to know what you do because it's not a first date, nor is it the first question.
No, because she's done it 3 times, if not 4. She's taken a statement and has made it this magical thing. All right, she's done it.
Wait a minute now. That's saying it don't exist. Are you saying that I'm talking about something that does not exist?
No.
Or are you saying that I'm dissecting it? I'm an overthinker. So
that's
that's
kind of like what Andre does. Kind of like what you do, Andre. So you met
that's
your
why I
match.
can. That's why I know what's going on.
Oh, that's why
That's
you
where
can.
I'm at.
Oh, okay, I get it. And so that's nothing is for what I see. It's just. But enough about me. Let's
And
go
you know
back
what?
to some
And I
questions.
really do enjoy that you still didn't answer the question. But that's okay.
Andre, you putting me on blast here. We'll talk.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
gonna
talk
let it. I'm
about-
gonna let it lie. That's it. I just want to let you know that
Yeah.
I am attentive and I am watching you.
And Andre, being attentive is a very good skill to have. Women
It is.
appreciate attentive men.
Thank
That's
you.
real.
Yeah.
Very
I
true.
mean, although you done threw me under the bus 2 or 3 times, I'm I don't mind
You're
giving
giving him his
flowers when
flowers.
flowers need to be given. For real.
Uh-huh.
Stay
It is.
attentive.
I was trying to tell him that earlier. I said a lot of the skills that he has, a lot of men don't have. That communication, that being open with their feelings, and still masculine. A lot of men don't have it.
Right.
So
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you 1,000%.
We got to get y'all on here for a part 2. There's got to be a part 2 to this discussion.
This has been
Cause
like
we
2
been-
hours and 15
15
minutes. So
right?
but it's been good. It's
this
been
is
fun.
crazy.
Look,
This
it
is
has
crazy.
been great. This has probably been one of our better episodes. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say this. So based off of the topic, right? Based off of the topic, what I'm concluding is that there can be traditional women in a traditional sense these days, but it more so looks like a partnership. And it depends on what each couple desires, right? And it's okay to be a traditional woman in this new generation. By way, not every woman wants to be that. Some may, and again, it just depends on what each couple desires for their happiness to build their relationship. That's kind of what I gathered from the conversation. Outside of all the other stuff that went off of the traditional talk, to stay on that topic, that's kind of what I got from that. James, Don, Andre.
I 1,000% agree with you. Using 1,000 because I'm tired of using 100. I enjoy this new dynamic of women being empowered, women taking care of business, handling their business, and also handling their business beside their man that's also handling business. We don't talk about that enough in the Black society, where you see couples coming together and they are not pushing that narrative. That's my only real concern. We do have this going on. There is Black love. It's still real. And if we showed more of that and that new tradition, that's going to be what's really takes us over the edge. And that's when we really will see love change in the Black community.
I want to say this in addition to what you just said, Andre. When you said it's women empowerment and how women have basically had the ability to rise up to where men are. It's a wonderful thing, but realize a lot of times it's not that women have wanted to do it. We've had to.
Facts.
A lot of us are single mothers. Whether we've been raised by a single mother, we are single mothers. We have been put in that dynamic where we have to either sink or swim. And I think that's why when you talk about men, we want to be appreciated, because it's so many ways that we could have failed out and said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I don't want to be Superwoman no more. And the reality of it is, for most of us women that have had to wear our capes, and I'm going to call myself one of them, that have had to wear our capes, at some point, we want to put our capes down. But when that we can trust and put everything in you to lead, to know that, okay, she can put this cape down. So it's not that women want to be empowered. Not saying that you said that, but it's not that women want to be empowered to be more or better than the man or even equal to the man. It's that we've had to overcome a lot, thinking about our ancestors and what we deal with now. Speaking for myself, working as a female in a male-dominated field, a lot of times, you're going against the grain every day. Okay, so we want to be noticed for achieving our empowerment, but realizing that it wasn't something that we want to do. We're not trying to be masculine. We're not trying to be better than a man. We want to be appreciated for the fact that we are up there with them, near them, and it was forced, but we still do it gracefully with a smile.
Right.
We don't hate men. We love men, But we just have to. We've been forced to be in a certain place, and now that we're here, we had to put that coat on and wear it, and it ain't easy.
You know, we're gonna save that. I'm gonna leave that one where it is. I agree with what you're saying. There's another part to it. I'm not gonna do it on this segment because it is now 9:19.
Right.
We're probably all the certain age where bedtime was past it 30 minutes ago. Right?
James.
Basically, this has been a great topic tonight. This has probably been one of the better topics that we've had. 2024, we've really been coming with some great topics so far this year. And y'all just sit back. I promise y'all we have more coming for y'all. As far as traditional women, it basically depends on what that couple wants in that relationship. Whatever works for them, works for them. And so just stay tuned. There will definitely be a part 2 to this. Tune into the podcast as it drops on tomorrow at midnight on every major podcast station. And also, as of today, if you notice at the very top, we do have a new logo where we have rebranded our show, and we are trying to do a little something different and trying to be better with the branding of the show. So definitely stay tuned to that. And also, as of yesterday, we officially have a website that you can go to for Real Talk Monday, which is in the comments now. So definitely check us out on there as well.
Okay. Don and Andre, if you guys want to share with what you guys do, if you are entrepreneurs, if you all have any passion points, how do people can find you on social media, what have you, please take the floor and shine your lights.
Ladies first.
You better.
He's waiting to hear what you do. He's waiting to hear what you do.
Well, I'm gonna talk about my podcast. I have a podcast called Tweet Talks. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Y'all can check that out and check out the email address if you're interested in being a guest on that show. And that's all I'm going to say. I enjoyed myself tonight. I thought it was a great topic. I love everybody's point of view, and I love the fact that we were able to agree and disagree in some cases, but blessings to everybody.
Did you say tweet talk?
Tweet. Tweet Talks with a Z at the end.
Okay.
TWEETALKZ.
And FYI, you're not the only detective. I will find out what you do. On a later date.
I mean, did he call me out on these things? He called me out on this stuff.
You know,
like, come on now. Come on.
With that said, Andre Perry, I'm on Instagram and majorly TikTok. But you can find me at Let Loose Painting. I am also a paint party provider here, pretty much anywhere I travel. So if it's in Canada, California, Texas, I will come and do your paint party. I'm also an artist. This is my piece right here. So I do pictures and paintings and, handyman stuff on the side too. So the great Andre Perry, TikTok and IG, follow your boy.
Okay. Thank you guys for sharing. As you guys know, I'm Tevis Haney, the Vet Empowerment. I do coaching, consulting, training, and maternal health. Love and Grace Doula Services. You can find me on Instagram, as well as Facebook and Twitter, all under Vet Empowerment Coaching. And I'm here. I'm here to help with small businesses, coaching and consulting in early child care, as well as maternal health assignments, whether it's doula work or just standing up in front of whoever to talk about the importance of Black maternal health. So you guys know how to find me. James, as always, thank you for this platform. Thank you for being okay with my passion when I speak.
I got
I love that you don't judge me. I love that you don't judge me for my passion. That's my Black woman passion. I know when to use it and when not to use it. And this is a safe space for me. So I felt like I could use it. So thank you, James. Thank you, John. I appreciate
Thank you, James.
I appreciate you guys not getting offended by my passion points. Okay. Anyway, thank y'all. I appreciate it. I definitely enjoyed tonight for sure.
Definitely.
Thank you, Andre.
I cannot wait for part 2 because we didn't even get through halfway through these questions tonight.
We did like 3 questions.
Like barely 3, but
How many
I
we
promise y'all. We
About
did 3
three,
questions.
maybe
3. But it was definitely something that was needed tonight. So we can definitely come back with some more fire for y'all. Stay tuned. Love you.
I love you too, Andrea.
Peace.
All right.